Okay. And I think I am. Hmm. Wait a second. Hold on. Okay, let me see. Da. Okay, let's get the Twitch stream going. Hold on, I'm gonna have to fix something really quick. Let me close this and reopen it. Okay, and I think now Twitch is working. Don't you hate it when plugins update and you have to re-authenticate and do all that stuff? All right, let me double check. Hopefully, let me check the YouTube stream now. Okay, I think that is good. All right, yeah, audio is going through. And yeah, everything looks good. Okay. So I'm Zume, and it's been a while, but I am back. Some news on my end. I made a Discord server, which you can now find in the links in the doobly-doo, in I guess the about section of Twitch or YouTube. So if you want to hang out on Discord, just join up. We can share some memes and just kind of hang out offline, and you can see what I'm kind of working on when I'm not streaming or playing games and stuff like that. Hold on, sorry, oh my gosh, these cookies. Sorry, not actual cookies, more like a website's telling me to, do you accept these cookies? Okay, let me get rid of that. Okay, I think the stream looks good. Let me just do one last check. I'm so paranoid about this stuff, technology. It's not my strong suit. But I have a cup of jasmine green tea, and I am going to be resuming my playthrough. Oh, hey, Love's Faith. Dang, you're right on the money. But yeah, I'm going to be resuming my playthrough of Vampire the Masquerade Reckoning of New York, which is yeah, it's an interesting visual novel, or yeah, visual novel. Um, has a lot of zoomery, new age kind of writing, which isn't bad to say the least. It's interesting though. I'm definitely on the older side. Yeah. Oh yeah, by Love's Faith. Just wanted to mention that I have a Discord now. It's in the chat. So I took a break, but I got some things done. It just took a while. So if you'd like to hang out on Discord, there we go. But yeah, yes, finally. I know. It took me forever. Some other things that's been happening in my life. I saw the Chainsaw Man movie finally. I shouldn't say finally. It came out over like the weekend. I'll make you about. Thank you. I appreciate it. I love fruit baskets. But it is Halloween, so I'll take candy as well. Uh, and yeah, got to see Chainsaw Man, and oh my gosh, the Reze Arc movie, so good. Highly recommend everyone who is like into anime and likes Chainsaw Man. For me, I'm one of those guys who kind of watch Chainsaw Man just for the heck of it, but the movie was like really good compared to, I think, season one. The pacing and everything was very fast, like it really gripped the tension. So I'll make a Tong Hulu basket. I don't know what Tong Hulu is, but that does sound good. I'll take a sip of tea. Hmm. A gasp. Ooh. Or was it the sip, the... Hmm. Just make a whole stream of a... You don't know Tengulu. I have no... that is that like a foreign language or something? Like, I've never heard of Tongulu. But I will hop right into the game now. Vampire the Masquerade. Night 1. I wonder how many nights there's gonna be. Alright, I don't have any options. I remember now, I can't actually move my thing. Let me Google what this Tongulu is. This is kind of bugging me that I don't know. Tongulu. Chinese fruit snack where it's fruit dipped in hardened sugar. Oh, I've had these before. I didn't know that what they were called though. Tongulu. Yeah, I've definitely had this treat before. But I've never actually known what they're called. I just call them like candied fruit. Uh, which I guess it is. I mean, if you dip like fruit in sugar, then it's basically candied fruit. Yeah, candied fruit. But now I know. Now I know the proper term. Tongulu. Hmm. Yee boy. All right, hopping back into it. Now, thanks to Faith, I know this name is pronounced Podrick, and this is his haven, which is a kind of rundown building with lots of papers and books. He's a history buff. All right, going through it again and again. It's the same sensation, a sudden plunge into frigid waters, snapping me back to reality. Snap back to reality. Oop, there goes gravity. Sorry. Not exactly a graceful awakening, more of a shit, here we go again kind of moment. Oh my gosh, that's another meme. Aw shit, here we go again. I wonder if they meant to have two memes in that. In the midst of this routine, there's always that distinctive first touch, the thing that jolts me back to consciousness. This time, it's the gentle rustle of pages turning, a subtle nudge back to the waking world. Making you want tea. Hey, tea is always good. No, I'm not a big caffeine before bed, but you know, a cup of tea a few hours before. You know, if it's green tea, you're good to go. Uh, Definitely need a little hot beverage. It's getting really cool where I live, so I appreciate a little warmth in the world. I crack open an eye and look around. In his derelict armchair, Podrick sits bent over a heavy tome, pencil in hand, etching thoughts onto the yellowed pages. His gaze never leaves the text, but he must have sensed me awaken. Good evening. I hope you slept well. Oh, that was a terrible Irish accent. Good evening. I hope you slept well. I'll try harder. Gosh, how pessimistic do I want this to be? I'll be like, yeah, you know, sleeping's always nice. But I'm at my aunt's house at the moment, so I gotta wait till I get home. What type of auntie doesn't have tea? That's like the ultimate aunt beverage, you know? You know, tea and biscuits. I'm just joking. But I did actually, not worse than in any other place at least. You kind of take what you can get when you live on the road. Ooh, she's on that rubber tramp life. Kali. I am well aware. Oh? Am I in the presence of another esteemed vagabond? Man, she's so sassy. She's the one who made me a teaholic. Oh, well, yeah. I mean, if your great aunt is the one who made you a teaholic, you can totally get a cup of tea then. Unless she's like one of those like, no tea after 4 p.m. or something like that, or else it'll interrupt your sleep. In which case, that is a very sweet aunt for doing that. More of a traveler by necessity. Still baffling as it is, it seems we have something in common. So did I snooze through anything noteworthy? He jots down one last note and carefully closes the book before finally glancing up at me, face unyielding and cold as ice. but we're leaving soon. That's why. Otherwise, I'd have to. Oh, well, I wish you a safe journey whenever you leave. It's yeah, it's always nice to visit family. Hopefully, you out there are going to be doing well, and you have some plans for the upcoming holiday. Um, I currently do not, but I'm thinking of stuff. Probably just going to end up spending time with friends, but you know, just the usual stuff on Halloween as an adult. Oh man, only I could trick or treat again. That was the days of getting free candy. He jots down one last note and carefully closes the book before finally glancing up at me, face unyielding and cold as ice. That would depend on your definition of noteworthy, but I have been pondering our next steps. Ooh, do tell. Probably movie night with my best friends on FaceTime. That's the way to go. The watch along. I dig a watch along. I don't know. Most of my friends, they're not really into that. They're just like, let's just hang out IRL. But I could dig it with people who are really far away. Yeah. I've never done one though. I really want to. Oh, I'ma be Maleficent. Ooh, good choice in costumes. I'm still thinking of, like, you know, I'm pretty terrible. I was, if I'm not doing anything, you're welcome to join us. Well, thank you. Thank you for the invite. Yeah, I will definitely think about it. And I will let you know on Discord now that I have one. um, but yeah, I always, you know, Halloween is one of those things where I always know it's coming. I always know I need to get ready for it and think of a costume and things like that. And then I always wait till literally like 3 days before. Yes, Nine Dime. I finally made a Discord. The link is in the doodly doo. You guys convinced me. It took some time. It took some time. But it's finally done. At least not done. It's a start. Hopefully you guys will be able to test it out and see if I need to add permissions and stuff like that and really push the limits of, I don't know, the the I don't know, of the server. Oh, I see you've joined the Discord. Thank you, thank you. We're gonna watch Sleepy Hollow, and if you do join, bring a movie recommendation and snacks. All right, I will definitely think about it. I need to think of a good movie recommendation for Halloween. I guess it depends on the crowd, right? Are you gonna be watching the super spooky, like actual horror films that are going to like give me night terrors or something? Or are we just doing like, you know, Tim Burton Nightmare Before Christmas kind of pick? Or Coraline? Yeah. Because those, you know, those are Halloween movies, but they're not really scary Halloween movies. I have been working for the Anarchs for the past 2 years and forged a friendly relationships with some of them, Pork included, although in this particular case I would rather avoid his presence. Uh, I'm with you on that one. Yeah, we're gonna... Makes the two of us, judging by his sour face last night. He was not happy with me snagging you away like that. Ooh, little quarrel. We're good with anything. If my friend Bun joins, we might watch a Japanese horror movie. Ooh, like the OG, what is it, Grudge? Yeah, that was a good movie. Was it? I was gonna wonder, was The Ring or no? The Ring was originally American, but The Grudge was originally like a Japanese film, if I remember correctly. That'd be cool. It's a different type of horror. Definitely a different type of horror. Project. Well, I am of help to him in the current situation. Pork is more than occupied with the going-ons within his turf at the moment. He may have neither time nor patience for a visit. Yeah, all right. So what do you propose then? The allegations against your sire. See, I happen to know someone who used to be deeply entrenched in the darker corners of the Red Market. An anarch working not too far from here. If Cassel truly wields as much influence as the court suggests, my contact could offer substantial aid. Okay, I'm thinking, man, my Irish voice does not fit Podrick. I'm gonna think of a different one for him. Substantial, you say? Wow, can't argue with that, except it's a no-go amigo. No-go amigo. Okay, that's some sass. His face scrunches up in surprise, and he repeats the words as if trying to taste them for poison. An interesting visualization. I guess, yeah. A no-go amigo. A no-go amigo. Yeah, I think that's more Podrick. Look, I get it. You have friends and contacts aplenty, but so do I. Also, I know Renard Castle like the back of my hand. We've been dealing all around the city on and off for almost 2 years. There's gotta be somebody here who knows where he bailed. Personally, I find horror movies pretty boring, especially ones that rely heavily on gore. For me, it can be the, jump scares. Like, a lot of jump scares, they, follow a plot of, you have the suspenseful music that causes this build up, and then you kind of know the jump scare is going to come, and then they let the music drop, you get the expectation of getting the jump scare, but you know it's not going to be there. It's going to be just after, oh, they open a door, there's nothing there, but then they turn around, boom, there's the monster. So oftentimes I feel like jump scares in horror movies are really meh. I agree with the gore. I think a lot of that is just shock value. I don't find gore super how can I say it? Scary. I can watch the Saw movies and stuff and I'm like, oh, this isn't scary. It's kind of, I don't know. I think they're kind of funny, just how ridiculous they are. But yeah, I've never found, I get it, people are like, oh, if you see someone's arms chopped off, it makes your arms ache or something. Verb? Hali. Look, I get it, you have friends and okay, now I read that. Podrick furrows his brow, waiting for me to elaborate further. This is a real quandary. 2 little angels whisper steadily into my ears, one having fallen spectacularly into the pits of hell, while the other has only sauntered vaguely downwards, spouting completely contradictory notions. I love Saw. Yeah, okay. Well, I'll see ya, Faith, and I hope you have a good drive home. In the end, I ignore them both, as I often do, and choose a third option, the best option, one where I don't have to reveal much at all. Ooh, she doesn't like sharing much personal information. There's this one guy who hangs around Harlem, Eli Sansaric. Eli Sansaric. Apparently, he's one of the few kindred that didn't burn with hatred for Renard, so it must mean they were getting along. This Renard must be a real dick if everyone hates him. He tilts his head slightly at the name of my, well, let's just call it a contact. Eli Sansaric, the Serpent. Why? Do you have something against them? Do you know what the Ministry, never minding that, do you have the slightest inkling of what Sansaric's capable of? Oh, I'm not fond of that look. The one filled with pity, but somehow I can't seem to bring out a credible lie despite him. Go on, enlighten me. To put it bluntly, only the most desperate situation with anyone with an ounce of sanity considers seeking out Eli Sansaric. Man, that name pronunciation is bothering me. Sansaricha. Maybe it's I don't know, Icelandic. The perfect lead given my circumstances. I can go find him now, have a little chat, and be back in no time. Oh. Alright. We could go find him, but it's far from the best course of action at the moment. Sansaric is known to be extremely dangerous and territorial. We should not take him lightly. I propose we go to the Annox first. At least there we will not be in danger of losing our heads. You're being so dramatic. We're gonna be fine. What's the worst that can happen? I believe us literally losing our heads is most definitely in the realm of possibility. We could split the party, you know. Oh my gosh, they're bringing up some RPG terms. Again, we most certainly could not. See, I think. Sweet lord, this guy. Time to kick things up a notch. I fish a weighted coin out of my belt bag. Whoops, sorry, I think I reached my limit here. Google says I'm pronouncing it right? Sansarit. Sansarik. Okay. That's an interesting name. I think I reached my limit there. How about we flip a coin? Heads, we go see Sansarik. Tails, we go to Harlem. Ooh, Harlem. That's where the Globetrotters are from. Well, I would assume so. You mean the Bronx? I hate it when people actually listen to what I say. Fine, call it already. Oh, Kali and Padre, yeah, man, they're already flirting. You can pick up on that. I see him hesitate, eyes going blank for a moment. His hand almost inadvertently crawls towards his ring, spinning it around a couple of times. Squinting at it, I finally managed to make out that it's a dice ring. One of those real dorky ones that D&D nerds wear when they want to look their silliest. That's a lot of talk from Kali, who has a dice pendant. That's like... that's a lot of, shit talking for someone in a glass house. Finally, Podrick looks back at me, gaze as sharp as ever. Alright, but you call it. Suit yourself, buddy. It's your funeral. Toss for heads, toss for tails. Heads get ahead. How would Kali know what that looks like without being a D&D nerd herself? Exactly. I mean, she has the dice right there. She's got the Walkman. She's definitely a D&D nerd to know what it is. I have no idea what the dice ring would be though. That's kind of a interesting shape for a ring. All right, we're going tails. Tails prevails. Continue. I lower my head to hide a little smile. The weighted coin glimmers in the warm light of the floor lamp as it soars through the air, spinning quicker than the wheel of fate. It lands safely on my outstretched hand and I flip it onto my palm, showing it confidently to Podrick without even a glance. He looks at it and smiles up at me like the cat that got the cream. Heads, fancy that. Seems we are going to the Bronx after all. What? Oh, I guess tails does not prevail. Impossible. Truly impossible. This has never happened before. Yeah, I guess it wouldn't happen if it's a fair coin. Traitorous coin. Have I not been good to you? Have I not kept you safe in my pocket all these years? Is that how you repay me? I feel you on that. Sometimes you just roll the dice and you're just like, why do I gotta get a nat 1 at the worst possible moment? I mean, what the actual fuck? Who is he? Did David Blaine finally freeze to death and turn into this lanky trickster? How did he... best 2 out of 3? Oh, that's always the scuzzy move. To ask for 2 out of 3 after you lose the first. Come on, we can take my car. Well, shit. That's 1 battle lost. Ooh, Podrick has wheels? I don't know why we've been walking around if he's had that the entire time. Yeah, your car. Wait, you mean that black rattletrap out front? Oh, what's he driving? A 94 Civic? Just joking. Civics, the old school Civics are great. They last forever, but they do make noise. It's a perfectly serviceable vehicle whose minuscule size allows for... You know what? How about we just go and you enjoy your minuscule vehicle in silence? Okay. A is for Antichrist. Stupid coin. Gotta take the L, I guess. Not my ideal move, but tagging along with the Caitiff might get me some answers. Plus, having seen Torque's reaction at Elysium, those Anarchs might have a soft spot for Podrick and share more than they would if I asked them myself. Alright. Ooh. Man, Kali never removes the headphones. I can just imagine her, like, having them in during everything, like, getting blasted. Still have headphones in, just degaff. Podrick's car is indeed a perfectly serviceable vehicle, and that's legally all I'm allowed to say. I'm having a blast shuffling through all the ancient cassette tapes he's collected, judging his taste in music out loud. How do they not fall out? I agree. I mean, it's kind of in the middle of a fight, still got the headphones in. You have to have your soundtrack like Star-Lord. Another Bohemian Rhapsody. Seriously? What do you mean another? Like, do you have Bohemian Rhapsody covers or something? Oh, I thought I only had one of them. Terrific. What? Wait, it's a song though. So he has an entire cassette. Oh, yeah, cassettes, they don't hold that much data. Now that I think about it. Yeah, yeah. That's interesting. He says it with the straightest of faces, and I can't help but burst into laughter. God forbid you get with the times. How about a legit car radio, to update your playlist? Man, talking about radio, I recently started getting back into just listening to the radio rather than uh like streaming music and stuff while driving. And man, it is so nice just having a good radio station that like always brings up the bangers and you're like, "Dang, this radio station is awesome." And then yeah. I feel like radio is under regarded these days in the era of streaming. Says the one sporting a Walkman on her belt. Man, Walkmans are stylish. Can't lie. They're really big and bulky, but touche, I guess. They're coming back in fashion. Kind of. Still, I do have a soft spot for Queen. It never gets old. Oh yeah, I do like some Queen. That's true, it doesn't get old. It's a very it's staying power. Staying power. Just like Journey and the Eagles and the Beatles. I don't know. I guess most of those kind of older, bands have just good staying power. They pass the test of time. Just saying, you're missing out on a whole lot if you ignore stuff from the 21st century. The music scene's been booming. Ever heard of K-pop? You're giving off some serious sasaeng energy, my guy. Oh, she's a K-poppy. Okay, so Kali is maybe she's actually Korean? She's definitely Asian features, but he eyes me with sudden interest. Okay, he's into the K-pop too. Do you think any of them have released cassette tapes? Bro, you just need one of those cassette tape things with the aux cable. Like, I wonder, do vampires not know how to use phones? That would be awful. They would be so far behind, like, the content available. Imagine being, like, able to live forever, but being too stupid to use a cell phone or the internet. That would be, like, tragic, honestly. Aside from our contrasting views on modernity, our little journey proceeds smoothly. Vampires are basically just old people. True, old people in young bodies. They're like very old, grumpy cats. Uh, and kind of like grumpy cats, they like to, nibble and bite people. A violent itch grows within me to tease, scratch, prod, and I can't help but give in. Oh, she's so flirtatious. She wants it. She wants him so bad. So what's up with Podrick? Why the... Let's shake him until he spills. She wants to tease, scratch, and prod. Alright, let's shake him until he spills. Holy shit, watch out. He doesn't even flinch, the hell. Oh yeah, he's too cool. We're gonna crash, and seriously, are you a robot or what? No, just seasoned, and in the right mind. What? Was that really about... Oh. What was that really about then? Because you need to do it better than that to freak me out. Ah, just the traffic driving me nuts. Thought I'd stir up a little chaos. A little bit of anarchy. So it would make sense. It would. Is that your subtle way of inquiring about a seemingly touchy subject? You tell me. Then brace yourself for disappointment. My run-ins with the Anox aren't nearly as thrilling as you might hope. I landed in New York about 2 years ago. Shortly after, I managed to save a handful of kindred, mostly of the Anarch variety, although I do believe there was some Camarilla in the mix. Oh, he's like a folk hero. It earned me what I would call tentative trust from Torque, and not much else, as you might have assessed back in Elysium. Ooh, wow, how noble. So how did you go from kindred hero to Camarilla's gopher? There's a pause as if he's genuinely considering the trajectory of his unlife. Oh, that hits hard. When you just someone gives a question, you're like, what am I doing with my life? The realization has finally set in. I have a knack for playing peacemaker, apparently, and while Torque considers it an asset, the Camarilla thinks it is a chink in his armor. Compromise isn't really in their vocabulary, you know. Well, I definitely know, but if you save some Camarilla kindred as well, why not start with them and curry some favor? They're the fat cats in New York, right? I'm a caitiff, Cully. My kind is not exactly welcome around the ivory tower. Hmm. A rare feeling of guilt washes over me, even though there's no bitterness in his voice. After a brief, uncomfortable silence, I abruptly change the subject and lead the conversation onto a slightly different track. Oh, so he's like the vampire, like equivalent of a mudblood. They're like, ooh, you're not welcome here. Your blood is not pure enough. Vampire racism. Tisk tisk. Okay. Tell me more about the Anox. Anything interesting about the Camarilla? Any other major players in the city? Yeah, let's ask about players. So we have the Camarilla and the Anarchs. That's pretty much standard fare. Anybody else to keep an eye out for? No. His response is so swift it borders on phony. I feel like I'm missing so much lore. Oh, with like Camarilla and Anarch. So I don't know. This is my first Vampire Masquerade game. Like I have some experience with the tabletop, but the Camarilla and Anarchs are basically two rival governments. I shouldn't say that. They're like rival vampire societies, governing bodies. The Camarilla is like the traditionalists, and the Anarchs are more, I don't know, anarch. They're less. They care less about the rules and tradition and things like that. Uh, yeah, but there's like different vampire houses and stuff like that, and yeah, it's. I don't know. We'll learn more as we go on. They kind of just throw you into the middle of the story, I guess. His response is so swift it borders on phony, but his face remains as impassive as always. Oh, he's stone cold cool. Right. How about cool stories about the Anarchs? You seem to gel with them the most. He hesitates briefly, his hands, while placed firmly on the steering wheel, meet in the middle as his fingers start nervously fiddling with the dice ring. You know, you really. So, wait. So he puts both his wheels at the 12 o'clock of the steering wheel, and he's playing with his dice ring. That's not good driving technique. Come on. You know, Vampire does not know how to drive. Deep down, the logical part of me knows I should back off. But the readily available part, the one right beneath my cold, dead skin, lurches at this opportunity to sneak straight into the vault of secrets. Come on, I'm dying of boredom here. You must have some wild tales to tell, something not found in your pile of books. Fidgeting with the ring stops. His hands return to the perfectly sensible 9-3 on the wheel. There we go. He does know how to drive. He just fidgets and puts his hands in the wrong place when he's nervous or something. No wild tales, really. I mostly just talk to people. Or mostly just talk to people. Riveting. What kind of people? Thin bloods. Neither wholly vampire nor mortal, the ever-changing nature of the Duskborn evokes pity, jealousy, and fear in equal measures. Considered little more than trash by most vampires, the Thin Bloods are banding together, leveraging their resistance to sunlight and the strange mercurial adaptability of their powers against their oppressors. Duskborn, oh my gosh, also known as abortions. Oh, that's an interesting moniker. Thin Bloods, for the most part. I was particularly interested in one called Sana, but mentioning her tends to shut conversations down, probably because she met her final death 4 years back at the hands of the sheriff, no less. Sana, ooh, is that a love interest for Podrick? Kadir? Wow, she must have really stirred the pot. Well, she did go on a mortal killing spree, but I'm not one to judge whether or not the punishment fit the crime. I don't know. If you go around killing humans, that brings a lot of attention, so I'd be like, what? Wait, she just straight up murdered a bunch of mortals? Yeah, yeah, that's not a good sign. Why? Why? Thin bloods usually just sort of lie low, better for their health in general. He hesitates again. Why so secretive about a thin blood going rogue? She claimed she was acting under orders from Cain, urging her to kill. Cain, like Cain and Abel, the first marked person? Oh, a mythical figure considered to be the first and most powerful vampire, the same person as Cain from the biblical stories. Oh, what is that Cain? Some vampires refer themselves as Cainites, members of the race of Cain. I've heard this idea of like Cain was marked to walk the earth forever, so he's kind of given immortality, which was a curse. Um, but I also heard of things like, Lilith is the mother of all monsters, and you know, who knows? Oh no, no, wait, wait. Didn't Cain have a wife and her name was Lilith, something like that? I think so. I think Cain got married and had a wife named Lilith, and then they had, babies, which turned out to be monsters. My eyebrows shoot up, waiting for him to continue. Logic. He allegedly told Sana at the end of the world, or the end of the world is nigh, and somehow that devolved into a killing spree. And she never questioned why the creator of our whole species would specifically choose her. Just straight up went on a rampage. For some reason, this perfectly innocent remark really gets on his nerves. All right, yeah, he definitely has a connection to Sana. Look, I am just telling you what I've heard. I never met Sana myself. I just found her condition fascinating. Oh, love interest, definitely. Hey, no need to get worked up. I glanced at your research notes. I know you're really into the inner voices stuff. I'm not judging. It's just, we can end this conversation anytime you want. Really. It's just that you have some really niche hobbies, you know? May I interest you in, don't know, crocheting or something? It's a lot less intense than chasing crazies. The kindred might not need air. Ah, the air was still. The Padre sighed so profoundly it probably echoes into that very afterlife, or wherever else Sana went after meeting her final death. Zume. What's up? I know, the kindred might not need air, as in he sighed, but he didn't need to. It was Cain was Lilith's son in some myths. Ooh, that would be interesting. Not husband. Yeah, I know in some myths, Lilith was, what is it, the first wife of Adam, but she was like, she would not submit. And so she was basically cursed and kicked out of the garden or something like that. And then Eve was created. And I don't know, I think this is like apocryphal, it's not canon in literature, but there are definitely some stories. But I could see Cain was Lilith's son in some myths. Interesting. Hmm. I need to look into that. I don't know. I always find that religious history, or I don't know, religious mythology, super entertaining. Like I've been on a, what is it? Like a devil and demon kind of like research kick just for like looking through like all the different listed demons and stuff that are in the Ars Goetia. uh, I don't know. I thought it would be interesting to do for Halloween. And there are some very interesting ones. Some that are not, they don't seem so evil. They're just kind of mischievous. And then some you're like, ooh, this guy, you get that demon on your back and your life is kind of ruined. But other demons are like, oh, they only really bother you like on Sundays or something like that. Which I was like, oh, that's not too bad. But also they probably don't have much power or something. Okay. Ars Goetia is or Goetia is fun. It is. It is. I mean, it's very interesting. Just the idea, like this book was allegedly written by King Solomon, like the King Solomon, and he was like a I don't want to say crazy, but like a powerful demon binder, spellcaster. I don't know what you would call it, like a demon mancer, able to control demons. He was able to build like the great temple using demons and stuff like that, which is kind of, I don't know, wild if it was true. But I don't know, even just as like a work of fiction, it's very interesting. Whoever wrote it definitely has a very, I don't know, it's a good, they definitely have good plot writing or like some good lore writing skills. I'm not sure what I expected from an Anarch outpost in one of the most densely populated cities in the America. Isn't New York the most dense, like the most populated city in the US? I think so, yeah. Maybe a sewer hideaway sitting right next to the local rats. Maybe a few Prohibition era cellars linked by a web of secret quarters. Maybe even a chaotic squat in a dilapidated brownstone. But a grimy auto repair shop with a bold red sign proudly declaring its motto's place, that definitely wasn't on my list. Hey, it could have been a pizzeria named Ray's. Are we lost? Can you read? Is it about your car? Yeah, we're gonna tease him about his car. Now, I know I'm not supposed to talk about your perfectly serviceable car anymore, but is this really the right time for your yearly inspection? It is the densest for sure. Okay, okay. I wasn't crazy. I wasn't thinking it's like 1-0. I thought, yeah, New York is massive. Uh, it's like the true concrete jungle, or Gotham, if depending on who you talk to. Some people say Chicago is Gotham, and others say New York is Gotham. But uh, ouch, the silent treatment. Podrick parks carefully, checking the side mirrors to see if he's aligned perfectly with the curb. Finally, with a satisfied nod, he turns the engine off. I do that too. I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes I just stick my like head out the window and make sure I have less than 6 inches like between me and the curb. And yeah, yeah, because I hate turning the engine off and realizing I'm too far away and I need to move the car. Podrick, let's go. And he gets out of the car just like that. I follow, of course, but not because he told me to. Oh, a little Cinderay. But well, hanging solo in a car at night gets real boring real fast, even with Queen Dido Dane, or Dido Dang in the background. I normally open the door to look. Yeah, I feel like it's a common thing. Like once you've messed up a couple of times parallel parking where you're a little too far from the curb, um, it just becomes a habit. Like, all right, I gotta like check. The only other time, because sometimes you can feel the curb being close through the steering wheel. You're like, okay, I can kind of feel it. I'm pretty close. But other times you're like, ooh, I'm not sure. I feel like I can turn the wheel a little more without rubbing against the curb. So maybe I need to move it. Motto, are you there? I fully expected company, but I still flinch when a huge burly kindred steps out from the shadows. Quieter than a mouse, his grime-covered arms are all set to give Podrick, a bear hug. But he stops himself at the very last moment, either from plain common sense or because I'm there. Alright, this is some very loud music. Wait, this huge burly kindred? He doesn't look huge and burly. He looks like Jacob from Twilight. Yellow eyes and everything. Motto Moto. What is it? Howdy, looking good, my man. What can I do for you? Need me to take a look at that old clunker of yours? Patty, clunker? Oh, this is gonna be good. I grin at Patty, expectantly, only to be met with his gaze full of discontent. My clunker is in top shape, thank you. Tomato. Besides, I can see you are rather busy tonight. How could that ever be described as burly? I know, right? He's barely bigger than Patty. Oh, they even changed his name in the dialogue. Still, I hoped you would have a moment for a few questions, though it won't take long. Mato erupts in laughter, patting Patty on the shoulder with a hand as big as a dinner plate. Any mortal would get pulverized by a friendly little pat like that. This gentle giant is truly something else. Yes, so big. Yeah, you would think he'd be huge. He looks even smaller than Patty. Anything for you, my man. And speaking of, who's this you brought? Mato's gaze cuts right through me, his hawkish eyes surprisingly cool and sharp despite his rugged exterior. A split second passes before I realize he's sizing me up, and that I'm coming up short. Mato probably wouldn't spare me a second glance if it weren't for Padre. Mato, meet Kali. She's got in a bit of a situation with the ivory tower. You see... Well, to put it short, her execution is on hold provided she delivers the council her sire's head on a silver platter. Mato lets out a long whistle, his eyes gaining a touch of warmth and, dare I say, grudging respect. Damn! What's your sire accused of? That's kind of what we're trying to piece together. Ever come across a lick who goes by Renard Cassell? Renard, huh? Can't say it rings a bell. What's his deal? Blood trade, among other things. Pajic says it quietly, sharply, with no hesitation, and I swear I see a bit of vitae drain from Mato's face. He almost drops a dirty rag he's been fiddling with ever since we got here. So he's a little nervous, dirty rag. Wait, Mato equals Moto. Mato equals Moto. Interesting. A tense silence fills the air, stretching like an endless rubber band. His hand was not as big as the plate. I agree. I mean, he's on the definitely smaller side. I was expecting, like a guy weighing 250 pounds, NFL linebacker, lineman kind of guy. But nope. Just a kind of skinny dude. A tense silence fills the air, stretching like an endless rubber band. Thankfully, as I'm a second away from blurting out some nonsense to break it up, Mato speaks up. I left that shit behind, man. You know that. I know. Believe me, we're not here to dredge up the past. We just need a direction, nothing more, nothing less. Surely there's someone who's still in the loop, someone who might have heard some rumors. Mato falls silent, avoiding Padrec's eyes. Internally, I'm giving Padrec a standing ovation. I mean, I'm well aware I've misjudged my caitiff caretaker, but damn if he's not a wire puller. Maybe he could even teach me a thing or two. A wire puller. Is that what you call someone who's like trying to pull information from someone? Oh, I've always heard it as like trying to pull teeth. Wire puller. Okay, I'll use that as a now I know. I get it. It's a difficult situation for you, but I was really hoping you could help me out here. You know, I would not hesitate to reciprocate as I have in the past. I have no clue. Yeah, I've never heard of wire puller before as someone who, is trying to get information out of someone. Yeah, I know. He seems more resigned than irritated, but still refuses to speak. Eyes downcast, body language borderline deer in headlights. There must be some juicy history between those two, and I make sure to remember that info for later. Podrick shoots me a quick look before he can double down on the guilt tripping, I flash my most charming grin and step forward. You see, I've only known Patty here for what, a single night? Turns out that's more than enough to figure he's pretty good at killing the vibe when he puts his mind to it. That earns me an outraged glare from the caitiff, which I cheerfully ignore, and an unexpected chuckle from Mato. I count my blessings and push on. Look, I don't know the first thing about you, the whole blood trade drama, or whatever. That's none of my business. I'm not about to dig in your dirt. Survival's the game we're all playing, right? Throwing a Renard quote out there is kind of cheap, but it tends to work like a charm. Hey, if it works, it works, So, I'll back off. Plus, I'm in a spot where I really can't afford to have anyone else in this town pissed off at me. Yeah, gotcha. It's just that. No need to spell it out for me. Gnarly pasts are sort of my thing, you know? Let's just drop the whole shebang. Aight? Oh, she really said aight? Man, this slang. He nods hesitantly, and I'm not sure if he's caught on my attempt to win him over. I really hope he didn't, because I've already scanned his workshop and caught a bait or two I can feed him to keep him on the hook. Oh, she's like a real manipulator. Let's overappreciate some of his stuff. Let him see a fellow enthusiast in me. You know, I was gonna say, if I knew a mechanic, I feel like they're pretty... They're not very much an enthusiast about, you know, the cars and stuff. They just kind of really like the stuff. So I'm gonna go with that one. Gotta say though, you've got quite the setup. Wait, is that a ZX-10R? Ooh, he's got a 1000cc Ninja, or Kawasaki Ninja ZX-10R. I love me some sport bikes. Super sport. What? Oh right, picked it up super cheap from some diva over in Long Island a few weeks ago. The guy had a nasty crash, pretty much wrecked it, but he had no clue about the gem he was letting go of. I mean, that's like a $14,000 motorcycle, 15,000. Actually, nowadays it's probably like 15,000, 16. I'm surprised that you would like he crashed it in a wreck, but it's still salvageable. That's surprising. Seriously, it looks like it just rolled off the assembly line. You got some sort of golden touch? He swells with pride at the compliment, and I bite back a grin. Everyone's got their soft spots. Ah, going for the ego, the pride. Mottos just happen to be glaringly obvious, if you ask me. No golden touch, no. Just the right tools and some elbow grease. Oh, he likes to be humble, but he likes a compliment. Interesting tattoo, though. He's got like some type of demonic key on his chest. What's this tattoo? Solve e coagulo. Coagulo, isn't that bleed? Solve. Okay, I'm gonna Google this. Solve et coagulo. Solve e coagula. Dissolve and coagulate. It is the alchemical motto for breaking something down to its basic elements. Interesting. So it has something to do with like alchemy. Interesting. Maybe he's like a old alchemist. And a whole lot of time, it seems. Well, yeah, but that I've got in abundance now, so... I've only come across one other like it. My friend had one almost identical, except for the decals. She always moaned about the engine overheating. No, those are the Yamahas. Yeah, Yamaha R1s get hot, but Kawasaki's, I think, tend to run a lot cooler. Though I think they do vibrate more, from my understanding. Exactly. I lean in for a closer look at the sports bike and can't help letting out an exaggerated gasp. Hold on, did you swap out the cooling system for a custom one? Yeah, it bugged me to no end. Plus, this one's a huge help with the overheating even on fast rides. This time he genuinely smiles, and without contriving to, I smile back just as warmly. I'd totally snag one if it wasn't for all that Renard drama. Well, I'm always on the hunt for a good find. I can't guarantee this model, but if I come across another beaut like this, I can hold on to it for you if you're interested. You know what? I might take you up on that offer. Just gotta deal with this Camarilla situation first. I gleefully sift through Motto's treasures, pretending I don't see him watching me like a hawk, clearly fighting a vicious internal battle, but in the end, neither of us breaks our silent standoff. It's time we head out. We still need to find someone who can actually give us some answers. Sorry to bother you, Motto, and thank you for your time. Ow, that's cold, even by Podrick's standards, but it sets me up perfectly. I smile brightly at Motto and wave a little. Toodles. I guess you do a little nice one, like toodles. Goodbye, Motto. Look after this little Shangri-La of yours, okay? We turn around and leave, and I quietly count the steps, but before I reach 3, Motto curses under his breath and speaks up. Hold up. Podrick shoots me a meaningful look, but it's gone by the time we both turn back to the friendly giant. Otto's gnawing at his bottom lip and twisting the rag between his fingers. Yes? I really am out of that business, Patty. I know, Motto. Still, some whispers find their way to my ears. Nobody likes gossip more than a buzzed-up kindred. Ain't that the truth? Usually comes in real handy, too. Yeah. So there's this thin-blood alchemist, Skylar is her name, I think, hangs around at Sunny's a lot. Sunny's. Empire of the Sun, it's a local Anarch dive. Empire of the Sun, very ironic for vampires. Great band, though. Yeah, exactly, Sunny's. If anybody knows anything about the blood trade, it's her. She's the only albino around, too, so you won't mistake her for none. Ooh, albino. So she's super pale, red eyes, super white hair, I guess. Interesting. Thank you, Motto. That is all we need. I owe you big time. Who knows, you might have saved my skin there. Don't mention it. Still, we should get going. Take care. Oh, who is this? Mia. Basically your avatar. Yeah, exactly. Well, without the cute little fuzzy ears, too. But, yes. Who is this girl? Not so fast, runt. What's with the kindred in this city and their love for lurking, or is it me who's losing edge? Miss Sorrento, what a pleasure. The air crackles with their mutual glares. Patrick's stoic, hers livid. Motto waves at her awkwardly, to which she responds with a curt nod. Me? I might as well be invisible to her. Torque needs you now. Why? I came here to tell you not to debate you, caitiff. Figure it out on your own. Oh, she's really mean. Podrick tries to hide his frustration, but his jaw is set and his shoulders tight. Okay. Fine, let's get moving, Kali. I don't think you heard me right. Torque summoned you. Your ravenous pup is not invited. She turns on her heel and walks off into the night. The cluttered car shop suddenly feels a touch more welcoming, as if starlight broke through after a storm. Motto gives Podrick another one of those awkward shoulder pats, but it does have a relaxing effect on him, or at least it stops him erratically spinning the ring. Miss Sorrento? Ooh. I'm just gonna call her a bitch. Who's that bitch? I mean, don't get me wrong, the company I usually keep is far from nice, but damn if she's not the bitchiest of them all. Okay, that was clever. Yeah, kinda. Name's Mia, Torque's enforcer, sorta big fish round here. Bigger than Torque sometimes. Easy, Patty. You wouldn't want her catching wind of that. Podrick clears his throat in a uselessly mortal manner. Right. I believe that is our cue to go. Thanks again, Motto. Don't mention it. And hey, you're welcome back anytime, both of you. You got it. Later. All right. Podrick gnashes his teeth so loudly that I can hear it a good 5 feet away. He's spinning his ring in such a violent and erratic manner that for a brief, bizarre moment, I think he's gonna rip his finger off. Dude, bro needs a fidget spinner. He's, I've seen people tootle their, their jewelry, but, spinning it all the way around is a little odd. So I make a brilliant, as always, decision to lighten the mood. Oh, let's hear it. Politics, am I right? Yeah, let's do that. So on a scale from 1 to I'm over this, how much do you regret getting into politicking right now? About 5. Sitting comfortably on the fence, I see, as expected of a professional mediator. How did that happen, by the way? Is there a seminar for that kind of thing? To tell you the truth, Kali, I am a bit unsure myself. I am happy to report that my efforts seem to have worked, or at least Podrick straightens up and puts his hands in the pockets instead of maiming them with the twisty ring. Still, who knows what his little claws are doing to the lining of his coat. You know, I bet. Oh my gosh, I just keep calling him Patty from now on. That's funny. So, what's the plan now? I have to go see Talk. Yeah, I gathered, but scary enforcer lady made it clear I wasn't invited to the party. We'll just have to wait in the car then. Ooh, just like a kid. Look, as much as I consider your perfectly serviceable car to be excellent company, we both know I can't just sit around doing nothing. You could listen to music. Come on, you got a Walkman. Then I'll ask someone to keep an eye on you. It should not take too long. I'd call him Patty too. I know that's a very how can I say it? New York name. Hey, Patty, what are you doing over here? I'm walking here, Patty. I went to Patty's pub. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's a very very Irish name or nickname. Bullshit. You and your endless debates. I'll be old and gray before you come back, and that's not even an option anymore. Seriously, you handle Torque, and I'll head over to Sunny's to look for that Skylark girl. That's not happening. Oh, come on. I've been the very model of temperance tonight. Actually, I think my blood meters and stuff are empty. I think these are supposed to be filled up white, so something's gonna happen. We've only been awake for mere hours. Splitting hairs. I'm heading to Sunny's to wait for you there. Scout's honor. He sighs, rubbing tiredly at his eyes. Wait, they do have smartphones. If we only had some means of long-distance communications at hand. Can you imagine what we would do if we were able to hear our voices from miles apart? Alas, reality is much more cruel, at least under Camarilla's rules. At least under Camarilla rules. Wait, so I guess it's a rule that vampires can't use smartphones? Dang, that's a terrible rule. No smartphones. We could always try using pigeons. New York's got no shortage of them. Ooh, carrier pigeons. Oh, so you're a comedian now. Hilarious. A shade of amusement crosses Padraig's face, but he manages to swiftly suppress it. Look, it seems we are out of options here. You'll have to come with me and wait for a bit. I'll figure out what Torque wants from me, and then... He trails off mid-sentence and stares blankly into the distance, hands joining together to spin his ring. I wave my hand in front of his face, but he doesn't even flinch. Talk about being out there, and trust me, I'm an expert on out there. And after what seems like a lifetime, he finally speaks up, and I feel every single drop of predictability evaporate. All right, let's meet at Empire of the Sun in an hour. Hold up. For real? Empire of the Sun, 1 hour. Do not let me down. And before I even have a chance to say anything, like maybe thanks or crack a joke, he turns on his heel, hops into his perfectly serviceable vehicle, and drives off into the night. You know, I'm wondering if this is like a reference to like the tabletop RPG or something, why vampires don't drive swanky cars. They only drive perfectly serviceable vehicles. I guess in the world of darkness, it's just, vampires don't have the good stuff. They're not driving Cadillacs and Beamers and Benzes. I feel right at home all alone and without anyone breathing down my neck. Surprisingly, to myself and probably to Podrick as well, I have no intention of bailing, not when there's a solid lead waiting for me at Sunny's. But then again, the night is young, lit up, and gorgeous, and I'm alone in the city that never sleeps. Why not enjoy the scenic route? Zume, stop starving Kale. I should have, I should have bet on those vampire hunters, but, I made a mistake. I know. How do I wish I knew if this is like, I assume this is empty. There's supposed to be 2 bars. Empire of the Sun, from pillar to post to another Anarch spot networking, right? With Podrick temporarily out of the picture, it's on me to ring that Skylar Duskborn dry for every last drop of intel. To be fair, if I were an immortal vampire, I'd drive an old car too. Same. You'd probably want something not too, ostentatious, too flashy. Get something low-key, like that 94 Civic. Yeah, that would probably Not only that, you don't have to worry about like low jack and getting tracked and things like that with an old car. You wouldn't have to worry about people trying to steal it or anything like that. Wait, what is this? Luck be a lady tonight. What are the odds of bumping into a street gambler right in the middle of New York the day after Christmas at that? Slim to none, I'd say. When fate is a dealer, you just got to go all in. Detour, main quest. Do I do the detour? Can I get blood? I think I'm going to do this detour. All right. But I think I'm going to take a quick break and make another cup of tea. And yeah, I will be right back. I will throw on, yeah, some chill background music. Right. And ooh, Faith is back. And welcome back. Yes. I am also back. Aha. Okay. Oop. Okay. There we go. Now see the game. Have a fresh cup of tea. Oh, well then I should probably stop the background music. Though it is very chill. Gosh. Ooh. With my caretaker off doing his own thing, it feels like the Camarilla's iron fist has finally loosened up, giving me a much needed break. No forced hangouts, no endless chases, just me cruising through the buzzing streets of the Bronx with Mariah Carey's wailing as my soundtrack for the night. Oh, I wonder if she's playing, Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas. You know, classic Mariah Carey Christmas hits. Because, of course, you just can't escape the official anthem of Christmas. Oh, yep. Definitely the classic Mariah Carey. I'm not a fan of the fake festive frenzy, but still, the dazzling array of lights and decorations, the infectiously high spirits and cheer, it's enough to make even a Grinch like me crack a smile. I feel that. My favorite thing about Halloween and Christmas are that people put lights up, and I really like lights. I don't know. I think night, like when you have like a Christmas lights, like the white lights wrapped around trees and stuff, or like people set up like Halloween decorations and things like that. I feel like those are the best holidays because people kind of do the lights for those. I really am a cat. Yes. I like the lights. They're pretty. I love the lights. Like, I don't really know about I know a lot of people do like the inflatables in their yards and they have like these different, you know, I don't know what the word for it, like displays, but lights classic. Though I don't like putting them up, but I every Christmas I do put up my own lights for because I feel like it makes the neighborhood look nice. Actually, I kind of just do it because I like the lights. It's a vibe. Yeah, yeah. Props to the folks who turned this whole Jesus-y shit into the world's largest con. Hey, you can't do that. America, we like turning holidays, like religious holidays, into capitalism. We do it with Easter, Hallows Eve, Christmas. I guess Thanksgiving isn't really like religious, but it is very capitalist. Um yeah, that's kind of our tradition. We make everything about, nice, cool consumerism stuff. Despite all that, I find myself craving some risky excitement. Yeah, I know. I'm a lost cause in that department. Perks of the clan, so to speak. If it's not capitalized, it's not America. Hell yeah, brother. Hell yeah. You gotta have some, consumerism, capitalism added in. People gotta have something to spend their money on. It'd be like, Japan not having like little knickknacks and trinkets and stuff, or like anime. Like Japan without anime it just wouldn't be the same. And it looks like Lady Luck is grinning at me again tonight because despite the nearly deserted streets, I spot a small crowd gathered up ahead. Curiosity piqued, I saunter close enough to fish out a really bad gather up routine. Street gambler. Oh, this is food? Yeah, I'm gonna eat some. What is it? Get in here, give it a chance, y'all, cause we're about to dive into a big old showdown, a jitterbug with destiny, or whatever's trending right now. Here, the cards are calling the shots. Destiny, cards, chance, it's that same familiar melody, just played in a different key this time. And clearly someone forgot how to tune their act. Because I remember well how it's done. Invite the memory. Yeah, let's invite it. Funny, the worn out spiel takes me back to well, let's call them my free expression days. Okay, I'm back for real. Mom needed me. Well, welcome back again. Back when I was still mortal, not a vile creature of the night. I guess other than the drinking blood, what makes you vile? Um, yeah, I guess it's like, is a leech a vile creature, or is a mosquito a vile creature, or a vampire bat because they drink blood? I guess maybe it's because they're undead. I can still recall the dusty desert winds, the throbbing beats, and the neon lights that veiled my deceptions. My fingers were nimble with tricks, and the crowd's gasps were the fuel for my fire. And yeah, I was a hustler, though back then I fancied myself more a street performer, skilled in my art, only dipping into shadier aspects to cover my immediate expenses. That's the way to do it. You know, if you're hustling, you should be legit 90% of the time and only go non-legit when you really, really need your rent paid or something like that. Um, you know, you got to be legit most of the time though. Mosquitoes are definitely vile creatures. Yeah, I should have brought them up as an example. Mosquitoes are terrible, but they serve a purpose in the ecosystem. They gotta feed the lizards and stuff. Because it was about more than just making money. It was about finding the sweet spot between illusion and reality. I guess, well, I don't really understand that. When you're so good at hustling that you start believing your illusion, I think that just is like delusion. It's just that when reality hits, it really fucking hurts. Facts. Reality always hits, and when it does, it hits like a truck. But when one chapter closes, another opens, and in that transition, Renard played the role of a catalyst for change. I wonder if I can like move this to the center of the screen because it's kind of annoying always looking to the right. Cha 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 cha. No, 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 no. Accessibility? No, I guess I'm just gonna have to keep looking to the right. Okay. Who's got the guts to risk it all? Come on, throw in a bit of your time and a few bucks and let's kick this party into high gear. Gosh, he's trying to raise the energy, but everyone knows he's hustling. The stage for this show is a dilapidated table with chipped paint and a couple of flimsy folding chairs. But it's not the dismal setup that's the most rickety, it's his whole vibe. That's a fact. The guy is a walking vitamin D deficiency, wrapped up tight in a jacket that could easily fit two of him. His hands are like spiders, always creeping back into his pockets when he's not dealing or shuffling. I squint up to get a better look at his face. His eyes shoot directly at me. Ooh, he looks like prey. Hey folks, check out our next contender in the crowd. How about we shuffle up for a round of poker, you and I, hey? I can see that on the sly scale, 10 being smooth like Shin Lim, and 1 being just your average uncle. He's all brakes and no gas. But hey, I've been fooled before. Maybe he's actually really good. He's just not good at hiding how shady he is. And that never stopped me from diving headfirst into dumb risks, has it? You probably wouldn't become a vampire unless you are a bit of a risk taker. Deal me in, Slick. That's cool. That's some slang. Call it deal me in, Slick. I slide into a chair, deliberately choosing the one he didn't point to just to throw off his rhythm, and I toss the required change into his jar for a buy-in. The jar's pretty full, though. I suspect he might have stuffed it himself to look more convincing. Facts. Facts. Whenever you're busking, you always put some money, what is it? Seed money into your jar because then people feel, oh, well, other people have donated money, so I'm going to donate money. It's classic. Classic. I always wondered if streamers do that as well, where they hey, I'll donate myself some money to, kick off the train. It'd be unethical, but it probably would work. We're keeping it real simple with only 10 cards. No room for cheating around here. Okay, we're doing 5-card poker. Okay, no room for cheating around here. You can sneak in an extra one because you'll bust me. And if I try to swipe one away, you'll clock me real quick. I don't know. You can just do a double pickup on the cards. Is Hold'em dead or something? 10-card poker? Really? Yeah, that's, I'm not a fan of, that when each person gets dealt their hand. I vaguely remember Renard teaching me some trick to avoid getting played, but right now, my mind's so blank it feels like I'm forgetting even more stuff just by thinking about it. Alright, quick math. There's me and him, so that's 2, plus the standard 52-card deck, 10 cards in the mix, and that with, Yeah, Kali doesn't come off as someone who like counts cards and knows how to do what is it? Probability, combinatorics. Yeah, 250 something combinations. Wait, is that right? Hold on, that would be 13 choose 5. 13 combo 13 combo 5. I don't know how to do that in my head, but I know that'd be some calculator math. Have that, then factor in whatever he's hiding up his sleeve, and that's roughly the number of ways I can get fucked over. I mean, he could just do a double card pickup. That's like the real way. You like lift 2 cards and make it look like one. Um, I probably should have asked what we were playing before diving in. But he's already shuffling, so there's a chance to get a read on him. I need a planned stat. Ooh, what should I do? Never played in my plays Genshin. Oh, they gotcha. They gotcha. I'm pretty lucky. I've actually never played like a gacha game. I shouldn't say that. I played a gacha game, but then I got bored after like an hour and then uninstalled because I was like, it's probably best not to keep this on my phone. Keep an eye on him. Take a peek at the cards. Try to recall the trick. I think I'm going to try to recall the trick. So, actually, he could be using a different trick. But it's sparking my memory. Let's try that. I dig deep, trying to latch onto any memory of this trick. And oddly enough, I managed to fish out a piece of wisdom buried deep in the muck of my mind. Bernard's words come back to me. Something about ships and that biblical guy. What's his face? Joe, Jared, Jackie? The whale guy, I mean? Biblical guy, whale guy. What? Thinking whale guy, Moby Dick? Guess I could really use Padrick's endless knowledge right now. Fuck it, let's go with Jackie. So this Jackie asshole, he's bad luck for the whole ship. And similarly, there's one doomed card that ruins my whole game. But here's the kicker. If I can figure out which card Jackie is, I can turn this game around in my favor. So the Jackie card goes down the shitter. Now the $1 million question is, which card it is? Which card is it? Playing the first round against even a shitty hustler is basically throwing my cash into a black hole. But hey, I'm feeling generous today, and I'll even toss in a few extra bucks just to keep the game interesting. I surprisingly haven't spent much on in Genshin. That is good. I heard Genshin is like a solid game if with a pretty good story and stuff if you're really willing to like invest the time into it, but I don't know. It feels like one of those games where you would have to like keep up with the seasons and everything. That's a huge time investment. But with hustling, I don't know. I was always told that when you do run a hustle, you basically let people's guard down by giving them like 1 or 2 wins initially. And then you don't pull in the real hustle until like round 3 when you then switch it up and do the real trick after they're comfortable and willing to bet more. I spent, I think, $200. Okay, that doesn't sound... I don't know. Actually, I have no idea what a normal amount in gacha games is. But I feel like that's about how much I've spent in like Marvel Rivals. I've played that game too much. Too much. I'll even toss in a few extra bucks just to keep the game interesting. That's overall since I had it. Ooh. That's good then, because Genshin's been around for a solid amount of time. He deals and I check my hand. Jack of clubs, Queen of hearts, King of spades, and a pair of 8s. Alright. Jack of clubs. So a jack, queen, king. Ooh, the 8, like, I feel like they're trying to roll a straight, but you need a 10 and a 9. Unless you're playing with wraps. We need to play together. Oh, yeah, for MR? Yeah, definitely. I need to do another one. Like, because I know they're doing the, I actually played the zombie mode yesterday. I'm trying to get to Nightmare 4, so if you want to play, then yeah, I'll definitely post in the Discord, and Yeah, I'm always down to play some MR. He deals. All right, that's interesting. Oh man, not bad. I just barely won. Got two pairs, jacks and queens. Okay, interesting. Yee, I did Nightmare too. Ooh, you're way ahead of me. I am still on hard. No, I think I just beat hard, and I need to get to whatever one is after hard. I don't know. I really want to get the penny skin because it looks pretty cool. And I think the only way you can get that is if like, or without spending money, is to do all of the events and stuff or challenges. Just as expected. Jacks and queens. Okay. He's playing three of a kind with three different cards, and the culprit behind my defeat. The one card causing all the trouble, the king of spades. I need to steer clear of it at all costs. Wait. Jack of clubs, queen of hearts, king of spades, and a pair of eights. How is the king of the spades the issue? I'm trying. Wait. He deals, and I check my jack of clubs. So we have a queen, a king, jack, or king, queen, jack, and eights. How is the king the issue? I mean, you can get a nine. I don't know. What are you trying to do? A full house, you would need another one. Yeah, I don't know. That seems kind of weird. Pretty easy to win when you're the one doing the shuffling. The crowd backs me up with the murmurs of agreement. He looks rattled for a second, but quickly recovers with a smirk. Alright. You know what? Let's even the odds a bit. I'll show you the card and you can decide whether to keep it or pass it back to me, deal? Finally, things are about to get interesting. He finishes shuffling and flicks the first card my way. Your choice. The Queen of Hearts makes her grand entrance, all pomp and circumstance. Wait. Did I just get the Queen of Hearts twice? That's very improbable. That's like a 1 in 52 chance. 1 in 52. Yeah, that's very unlikely. I doubt they make a skin like that free. Yeah, I know. I can try. I always do the events though, and try to get as much of the free stuff. I'll be honest. I like the emotes a lot more than the skins sometimes because you can use emotes with like every skin. All right, I got dealt the Queen of Hearts the first time. He got Jacks and Queens. I shouldn't have gotten the Queen of Hearts a second time. She thinks it's the King of Spades, but I think it's the Queen of Hearts. We're gonna go with yours. It was like 700 lattice, I think. Oh yeah. That's a lot. I guess that's like $7, but the Queen of Hearts makes her entrance. I know what you did to Alice, bitch. Damn. Yours. The King of Spades appears, all business with his arms crossed. Wait, I'm getting the same hand as before? This doesn't make... You can't... That's obvious a scam then. Do you want this card or should I take it? Hold on. You deal my cards first, right? Card draws. Should I trust Kali's intuition and take the King of Spades? But I got both penny skin killers. Nice. I have a bunch of those like recolors, but I need to use them for something. I don't know. I'm kind of like one of those hoarders who like accrues those things. Who's your Marvel's rivals main? Historically Luna Snow, but right now I'm trying to learn Magic. I also tank quite a bit. My highest win rate is on Penny Parker. But I don't know. She gets banned pretty frequently in comp and stuff. So, and sometimes I feel really bad playing her because it can be kind of cheesy. Um, But yeah, I would say my standard main, probably Luna Snow, and then played Psylocke DPS pretty often. But I've been trying to learn magic, so she's kind of like my main for this season. Scarlet Storm and magic. All right, I'm gonna trust Holly's intuition, and sorry, King, but you're not making the cut. No thanks, you keep it. His eyebrow twitches nervously. Ooh, you sure? Just keep dealing, brother. How about now? 8 of Diamonds about as exciting as watching paint dry. Hold on. Oh, it's the exact same continue. All right, so I'll just take the second hand. It's yours. I just got to keep doing this. Nah, pass it on this one. You can have it. I make a few more calls deciding whether the cards go to him or me until he's dealt them all. Just a heads up, we've seen all the cards, so we can still swap decks if you want. Your shaky posture says it all. Oh, buddy, you've really backed yourself into a corner, and I can't resist pushing you more. Do you want to swap the piles? Do you want to swap the piles? He shoots me a sour look and reluctantly reveals his hand. I won. I just cannot learn magic for some reason. I'm pretty decent at all the other melee characters. I'm also struggling. My win rate on magic is terrible. Like, I can't even take her in a comp, but so I've been doing a lot of just QP and practice, trying to learn her. She's very, how can I say it? She's very, like, comp dependent. Like, if someone's running Penny Parker or Namor, then she's basically, yeah, it's basically useless. Like, it's very hard to get value out of her. Excluding Daredevil. And Daredevil, I have not learned him, but I've been killed by him a few times, and people who know his know his combos, he has such a fast time to kill. It's crazy. But his ult kind of sucks because you can just not look at him, and then it kind of does nothing. The crowd cheers for me while the gambler leans in, his voice a low hiss. You were counting, weren't you, cheater? What's that, bot? I can't hear over your whiny calling me black. You cheated. You knew exactly what to do. Admit it. Nobody beats me without cheating. His accusation, foolish and loud enough to carry probably 2 blocks away, definitely catches the attention of everyone nearby. This is just too perfect. You hear all that? I think somebody just confessed. Suddenly, it's so quiet you could hear a pin drop. Then the whispers start, quickly turning into a chorus of boos. But I'm not sticking around for the rotten tomatoes. Ooh, Iron Fist. He is solid. And he's appearing in competition a lot now. I snatch up my winnings and I book it into the night, serenaded by the sound of shattered glass, coins clinking on the pavement, and the loser's whimpers. And then I speed up. I've already wasted way too much time here. Man, I was really hoping to get some the munch on that guy. Magic, your beloved. Empire of the Sun from Pillar. Okay, yeah, this is the only choice. I wonder if, like, this is filled up, and if it's all the way filled up, there's just another piece making it great. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe I'm not actually starving. Who knows? The area outside of Empire of the Sun is pretty sparse, both with mortals and my fellow kindred, so chilling out front isn't a big deal. I blend in perfectly, all amped up for whatever's going down tonight. Still, old habits die hard, so I take a sec to study the area carefully, taking it in the way my con artist sensibilities demand. First off, it's mostly tame out here. Magic has some nice skins right now. I'm rocking the Eldritch Knight one. You know, she gets the blue sword and the white hair. I dig it. I dig the, blue sword and white hair. Though I think her Phoenix skin is probably the best at the moment. It's very spicy. And I like the trench coat on that one. That's pretty cool. The only dude catching my eye is this total nutjob parked by the door, screaming about Doomsday while rocking that coked up Al Pacino look. Oh, he's got the scar face. He's got that wild vibe, complete with drool and insanity in his eyes. Yikes! Oh, he's on the Colombian Bam Bam. Even if I was still in the grifter game, I wouldn't bother with him. Lunatics like that are more trouble than they're worth, and usually broke to boot. Facts. Unpredictable. You can guess what skin I have for her. Is it the Phoenix skin? Because I feel like that. Yeah, in my opinion, the Phoenix skin's the best one right now. Punk Cha. Oh, that one's also very good. The only one I don't like about that is you can't really see her eyes, but it makes sense. Goth, punk child. She's got those bangs. Yeah, that is also a good skin. I was gonna say until the Phoenix came out, Punk Child was my number one. Then there's the front of the dive, which looks, for lack of a better word, loved. Despite the dodgy neon and the graffiti that's actually kind of witty, the place radiates an inviting warmth. A place with a soul. Soul? Interesting. Still, the Empire of the Sign with Tsu, Z, scribbled next to it is so on the nose, I can't help chuckling on the inside. Oh, Sun Tzu, I get it. So someone was very clever. People clearly have fun at Sunny's and treat it as their place, a place that they can return to again and again and again, never feel unwelcome. That's true. When you become a regular at a bar, and you know, that's a cool feeling. Also kind of weird because then you know you're spending some serious money over time at that bar. But I'm wasting precious time just standing out here. Gotta find Skylar before Patty comes back and gives me the look. I head for the entrance doors decked out with all sorts of funny stickers, but before I can even touch the handle, the crazy guy grabs me up with an unexpected speed for someone so curled up. I shake him off easily and give him my best back off glare. It does nothing. He's in his own world. Oh, he's really coked up. Unhinged ghoul. Oh, it's coming. The reckoning is upon us. The signs, the signs. Hey, back off, will ya? Look up. Look up, damn you. It's death. Death dressed in rays of light. It's watching. The day star is waiting to cleanse us in fire. Oh, as I walk past the guy, his words echo in my brain and rattle between the crevices of my brain, stirring long dormant fears. Can you see it? The day star. It's the end of it all. Day star, isn't that just the sun? Empire of the Sun. Yeah, I mean, the sun's the only star you see in the day. I enter Sunny's acting all cool and collected, as if none of that crazy shit fazed me. Oh, the crazies. It's always the worst when they touch. They grab you and they don't let go, and you're like, oh, let go. The interior looks exactly the way I expected. A kaleidoscope of stickers, murals, lights, and banners covering pretty much every available surface, and interspersed with well-worn seating, musical instruments, and plenty of space for dancing. To say that I've seen it hundreds of times before in dozens of cities doesn't quite capture the whole picture. You know, this is actually very true. The vibe of like a stereotypical dive bar with the stickers everywhere, and you know, the strung lights, and like the super old furniture that feels like it came from like a yard sale. Even like the spool tables and stuff. Oh my gosh. It's kind of weird how many dive bars have that vibe. I gotta say, feels like home. Spotting Skylar is easy with her head full of bleached dreadlocks, besides the bar is practically empty. Maybe all the kindred have gone to the ring in the holiday season, who knows. She's hunched over a table, completely focused on scribbling something in a notebook. She doesn't notice me as I approach, so I get a sneak peek at one of the pages and discover some gorgeous, intricate designs for, I assume, geometric tattoos. Yeah, I can go with nice drawings. Wow, those are dope. You ink people up? I plop down right next to her, shaking her out of her reverie. She gives me a confused stare. Oh, Skylar. Dang. She's got the wide eyes, white dreads and everything. Very, and an Apple Watch. She must be very hip. Yeah, yeah, I mean, it's kind of my old gig. Tough finding clients at night, huh? You could say that. Her eyes narrow on me, to which I respond with my brightest grin. Can I help you or something? Mato said you might be able to. Name's Kali. I'm looking for Renard Cassell. Never heard of him, so if that's all... And where do you think you're going? I grab her by the collar as gently as I can and ease her back down. She resists a little, but let's be honest, a thin blood has nothing on a well-fed kindred. I keep her down easily, but my grin widens in a manner that is hopefully just a little bit threatening. I usually favor dodging conflict over sparking it, but this time my impulses steer me towards chaos, and I let the flood take me like a ship on the windswept sea. Let go of me. Answer my questions then. Renard Cassell. Where is he? Look, I really don't know any Renard Cassell or whatever, okay? Really, plain dumb. Do I look like I'm here for games? Cut the shit and talk. I have nothing to say to you, bitch. Let me go or I start screaming. Yeah, she seems like a very Valley Girl vibe. I'm gonna intimidate her. Wait. What do these mean? 1, 2, Heimerstry? I guess it's just option 1 versus option 2. I guess who do you think you are? Not after I've ripped out your fucking windpipe, you won't. Now simmer down and let's talk. Her eyes start to wander, dimmed by the sheer power of my bearing. For a moment she sits motionless, her upper body twisted in a decidedly awkward way, or tensing up as if she's going to bolt, but I'm ready for it. I grab her by the neck, slam her onto the table, and turn her face toward me, calmly repeating my question. Now, where is Renard Cassell? She keeps struggling for a moment, but in the end just goes limp, defeated and seething with frustration. I honestly don't know. I've only heard bits and pieces about him. Any alchemist worth their salt knows of all the major suppliers in the city. So you sling ink and mix potions. That's quite the combo. That is not what you said, Lamau. Wait, what did I say? What did I say? Okay. Screw you. Oh, about her being like very hip? Well, I meant very hip as in like, like Silicon Valley hip. You know? She's got the Apple Watch, she's got the vest, like sweatshirt tied around the waist, probably wearing Lululemon leggings, She's got that San Francisco hip vibe. Screw you. Not sure where my genuine compliment went wrong, but okay. So where's the scoop on Cassell? Preferably his current whereabouts. The choice was, who do you think you are? And the dialogue after was, not after I rip out your windpipe. Oh! I see. I keep telling you, I've got no clue. I've never even laid eyes on him. Okay, Skylar, we're gonna have to just intimidate you some more. Then give me something worthwhile. You're sort of wasting my time here, girly. Love me a good chat, but I'm on the clock at the moment. All right, chill out, will ya? I know someone. There's this courier. She delivers all sorts of shit all over the county. Can get you pretty much anything. She's tight with Cassell, all right? Oh, yeah. Interesting. Go on. Go on what? I smother the urge to roll my eyes. Oh, you just roll and just go like, oh. I wonder if that actually tracked well. Is whatever. Yeah. Go on, hook me up with her, like yesterday. All those threats and she still hesitates to help me. Well, the time for the stick has come and gone. Now it's time for the carrot. I really wasn't lying when I told Mato I'd rather not make any more enemies in the city. Look, You're not exactly catching on here. I could just take your phone and set up the meeting myself. But I'm feeling generous, so I'm asking you, politely, I might add. You call that polite? Oh, duh. Oh man, that is such a classic. I feel like that's not used enough in the modern age. Just saying duh. Do I want to be snarky? Haven't you noticed? Maybe I'd be extra snarky. I could switch back to rude. I can get back to impolite if that's what you prefer, but I think you'd rather I didn't. I'll even sweeten the pot, alright? You set me a meeting with that courier of yours, and I'll clue you in on where I stash my goods. Her ears perk up a little, but she still eyes me with great suspicion. What goods are we talking about? I flash her a reassuring grin, and though she recoils a little, her attempt at nonchalance fails miserably. Blood stash is obviously top quality, best variety, all your little alchemist's heart might possibly desire. Deal? I reach out my hand, pausing to give her the space to decide before I'm forced to make the decision for her. Luckily, after a brief deliberation, she reaches out and shakes my hand. Deal. Hold on, I'm gonna make a quick call. I nod and relax, keeping her in sight as she wanders over to the stage area and takes out her phone. I feel a twinge of guilt over how I treated her. Maybe I should have just started off with that whole blood stash thing. Yeah, well, I'm not exactly a planner, am I? If this courier leads me to Renard tonight, this whole search could end in a matter of hours. Just the thought of freeing myself from the looming threats of the Camarilla, that annoying caitiff, and this oh so futile endeavor. It warms the chambers of my undead heart. Finally, Skylar hangs up and gets back to the table, fidgeting with the charm hanging from her phone. A real bundle of nerves. Done. Meeting's in 15. Let's move. Ding. She gets it done. When it blazes brightest, we'll all be judged. Oh gosh. She is unhinged. A gentle snowfall greets me outside, gracefully covering the dirty sidewalks in a layer of pristine white and dusting the occasional pedestrian with soft, fleeting crowns. Skylar winces at the screams of the madman and brushes off the fallen snow. I, on the other hand, let it settle in my hair undisturbed. Snow never bothered me anyway. Yeah, I mean, if you brush off the snow, it's just going to be back, like, because it's snowing. So, who are we meeting exactly and where? The moment she opens her mouth, the perfectly serviceable vehicle cuts the corner with Podrick hunched over the steering wheel. You mean Patty? A roiling storm cloud on his face, he pulls up carelessly and lunges towards Sonny's before noticing Skylar and me. He pauses, face scrunching in confusion. He seems genuinely surprised to see me, and I'm suspended somewhere between feeling smug for defying his expectations, exasperated that he has so little faith in my word, and slightly regretful I never even attempted to flee, if only to gauge his reaction. Okay. Hold on, let me see. Is this... Okay. Alright, my OBS was saying that YouTube had stopped, but it's still going, so I'll ignore it. Sadly, he regains composure before I can tease him about it. Yeah, that's good. Oh, and I need to get the voice. Oh here, that's good. Of course, for now. Let's be sassy, don't get too excited. Good, huh? Do contain your excitement, my good sir. It's unseemly in polite company. What would you have me say? Outstanding. It's a decent start, but I'd settle for divine. He rolls his eyes and settles his gaze on Skylar. They size each other up suspiciously like a pair of alley cats on a hot tin roof. Patty, meet Skylar. And local anarch with a knack for alchemy, Skylar, meet Patty. It's Patrick, actually. Pleased to meet you, Skylar. Yeah, all right, you super formal goof. Skylar nods at him curtly. I can see the apprehension in her eyes, so I step in, hoping to keep our fragile truce. Don't stress too much. Patrick might be a bit uptight, but he's all right. He's just here to offer us a lift. That's all. I am. Yep. I see. Skylar's eyes jump between Podrick and me, but in the end, she seems to just give up on caution. Maybe the prospect of a right blood stash is keeping her on track. We need to get moving. The meeting place isn't far, but, well, night couriers aren't known for their patience. Let's hustle. A night courier? Huh. Interesting. Who is this particular courier, exactly? She shrugs, making her way toward the caitiff's ride. Don't know. I only know her by the handle, and she always wears a helmet, so... Sus. Very sus. Wait, what is her handle? Everything's gonna be fine, yeah. Well, as long as she knows where Renard is, she could be a gargoyle for all I care. Not that gargoyles are known for their patience. On the contrary, spending centuries in one spot would teach a gargoyle patience, provided they were real. I laugh at his smug expression while Skylar just shakes her head and climbs into the car without a word. Still chuckling, I turn back to Podrick. Anyway, you done with the torque thing? Yes. His speedy response is slightly suspicious. I narrow my eyes and judge him openly, but he's completely unfazed. More importantly, what's that all about a night courier? I smile at him mischievously, fling the passenger door open, and there it is, Podrick's audible sigh. He's really fond of his mortal reactions to my antics. Ah. Voices of the angels, they see poison, poison into your ears. Heed not, oh, heed not their honeyed words. The sudden commotion alerts me, and I'm instantly ready to pounce. The loony from before is kneeling before Podrick, clutching at the hem of his pants with his head thrown back and misted-over eyes staring blankly into the night sky. He stops screaming, but his lips quiver with faint whispers that fade into the air like smoke. Dream not in your slumber, for the day star will sear its truth onto your whole being. I don't know what this guy is trying to say. He is quite unhinged. I sigh and roll my eyes. Ready to toss a quip about, attracting but then I notice that Podrick has not moved an inch. He's staring motionlessly into the man's eyes, completely frozen aside from his hand, fingers twitching wildly, spinning the dice ring. Oh. Oh. This is some Podrick lore, I bet. He has dreams, and it has something to do with his daystar. He's been fidgeting like that a lot. Actually, now that I'm paying attention. Podrick, you okay there, buddy? No answer. The catatonic madman falls over into the snow as I approach and gently free Podrick from his grasp. Podrick, talk to me. What's going on? Suddenly, his hand stops, then all of him unfreezes. He avoids my eyes and shoves his hands down into his pockets. I'm fine. You sure? What was all that about? I do not know. Let's not fret about it. For now, the night courier is waiting. Oh, mysterious. Night courier. I thought I knew every fixer with whom Renard had tie-ins, given my role as the logistics gal of our coterie. Maybe I'm just tired, but I have no clue who that night courier might be, and it sends my trickster senses into overdrive. Usually I'd fill the car with some kind of idle talk, whether I'm with friends or just by myself, but this time I just let the silence hang. Neither Podrick nor Skylar seem keen on chatting, not even with classic Queen tracks playing, so the caitiff's perfectly serviceable car is almost uncomfortably quiet as we cruise through the night streets of New York City. I've got this strange sensation in my stomach, like I've eaten a chunk of ice. If Kindred could get indigestion, I'd blame it on my last mortal meal. Since that's not a thing, I guess this feeling must be anxiety. Ooh, anxiety. It's really not my usual vibe. Something about this whole situation makes the hairs on my neck stand right up. I'm feeling perfectly okay about it. It feels like there's something terrifying waiting for me at our destination just a few blocks away. But weirdly enough, my gut is telling me not to run from it. And my gut is usually spot on. Always trust your gut. Always trust your gut. What does it say? 2-hour metered parking, 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. except Sunday. Okay, Monday, no parking, Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 9 a.m. Oh, it must be like congestion stuff. Yeah, yeah. As we pull up to the meeting spot, the night courier stands out immediately, mostly because she's the only one around. Clad in black, dark leathers and sporting a helmet, she almost disappears into the night alongside her bike. Huh, who did we meet that was clad in leather? I think it was Mia. We met her at Mato's place, his little mechanic shop. We barely come to a halt before Skylar jumps out of the car and approaches the courier in a few strides. She seems eager to talk and even more eager to bolt, so I keep my eye on her, ready to give chase. She looks like she might make a run for it. It's not even a question. I shoot a quick glance his way and catch him looking at Skylar just as intently as I am. Oh, okay. Looking to the right is, I guess I'm just going to move my head to the right a bit more so I can just look forward. Of course she does, yeah. Oh, come on, of course she does. Or am I the only one flagged as a flight risk in your book? Well, I haven't come across anyone quite as slippery as you, so there you have it. The moment Skylar pivots and heads our way, we cut the chatter and step out of the car. 5 minutes, that's all I could get for you. Spend it well. Her hand reaches out to me in a gesture that feels overly formal. What? She put her, like, hand up, like, kiss the ring or something? Okay, I'll be like, good evening, my lady. I shake it vigorously, keeping my face utterly solemn. She jerks it away, clearly taken aback by my intensity. The key, you know, to your stash. I held up my end of the bargain. Yeah, got it right here. I toss her the key, which she easily snags out of the air. Little does she know, we already visited the stash and there's nothing there. Properly scammed. Pleasure. With that, she's off into the night. As she disappears, we casually approach the night courier. One look at Podrick reveals a simmering impatience. I know he wants to take the lead, and honestly, while I'm not exactly thrilled to step in, it seems like a pragmatic choice. Let's face it, negotiations with Skylar went less than stellar, even by my standards. But Podrick hardly gets a word out before the courier cuts him off with a sharp, sour response. Oh, this is just a completely different woman. Shut the hell up, pretty boy. Wait, I know the sound of that walking angst vortex. Cully, the fuck did you get yourself into this time? She takes off her helmet, and I'm floored, staring at the face I never thought I'd see again, outside of some vampire afterlife fantasy. Jess, holy shit, is that actually you? Is this why you dragged my ass over here? To star in this shitty high school reunion? As prickly as ever, I'm dying to give her a hug, but her thundercloud of a face screams, back the fuck off. I settle for an awkward pat on the shoulder. Care to introduce me? Jess's eyes nearly pop out of her head. Oh, piss off. Is this really why I'm out here? What? No, hell no. It's, let's just go one step at a time. Christ. Podrick, meet Jessica Wainwright. I know you like it formal. She was part of our crew before she up and vanished like a ghost a year back or so. Speaking of which, we thought you were gone. For good, I mean. She seems thrown by that, but she swallows whatever rush of words is clearing at her or clawing at her throat. Oh, really? Well, that clears up the mystery of the silent phones. I feel like there's some reference about phones not exist or vampires not using phones that I'm missing right now. So we're playing it like that. I fucking warned you, you dick. Not like I can text beyond the grave. FYI, I left you guys a fucking note. This whole situation is surreal. The hell are you on about? Renard said, Of course, Renard fucking Cassell turning shit into gospel. Her deceptively soft features harden. Why the hell are you poking around for him anyway? 'Cause I'm royally screwed. Why? 'Cause it's a fucking Tuesday, that's why, and by that I mean he's off the grid and now I'm neck deep in shit because the Camarilla wants him found. Right. And who's this charmer? I'm essentially the raft keeping her afloat in the cesspool she's plunged into. Not gonna lie, I jump up a little. I sort of forgot he was even there. I still toss him a wounded look and pout a little while Jess lets out a hearty laugh. Pouting. Pout, pout. Yes. So I'm surfing this wave of horseshit with you. Oh, you filthy, filthy lifeline. The sheriff had him shadow me. I swear he's useful sometimes. Maybe it's the pretty yet infinitely punchable face that does it. Ooh, she called his face pretty. Right, and you just went along with all this creeping around because why exactly? Because I don't. I would say, all right, let's match her tone. Take a fucking guess. All right, pop quiz. Option A, I'm in the mood for some company. Option B, I do it or I get my head lopped off by the sheriff. Take a wild guess which one I pick. She's clearly not amused. Stepping outside of the gang has really changed her vibe. Hell, we used to get along swimmingly back when we were cramped in that RV together. Maybe a bit of real talk is what I need to melt that ice. I drop my voice as if I'm letting her in on a deep, dark secret. Truth be told, there's got to be something bigger at play with this whole mess, you hear me? I just can't figure out what the hell they want with Renard and why now of all times. Just shrugs and crosses her arms over her chest, looking like she couldn't care less. Oh, yeah, see you, Nine Time. I hope you have a good night. Yeah, see you on Discord or whenever I'm streaming next, whichever one comes first. See ya. Water's wet, sky's blue, and piss stinks, by which I mean underneath all that charm, Cassell's been a two-faced lying sack of shit from day one. No wonder the whole ivory tower is on his tail. Hold up. There's clearly bad blood between her and Renard, and it's skewing her view a bit, maybe. Charming, sure. I'd buy snake oil off the bastard too, but he's always been straight with me. What's even worse, she has this horrid look in her eye I can only interpret as pity. The hell's there to pity? She probably pities that she's still stuck with him. I'm doing just fine, thank you very much. Heard through the grapevine you might know where Cassell is hiding. And just laughs at that. Am I losing my edge here? Oh, honey, Cassell's an even deeper shit than Callie is. See, I've been involved with the circulatory system on and off, passing messages and whatnot. She leans back even further onto her bike and all cool and collected like nothing gets to her. I almost follow, enraptured, but catch myself at the last moment and straighten up, signaling for her to continue. Word is, Cassell shot right up to the top of their shit list just a couple nights back, based on some fresh intel they got from who knows where. Suddenly she leans forward on her elbows, looking at me seriously. This is major league shit, Kali. Could be Uncle Sam level big. And it might not just be Cassell in the crosshairs, but anyone tangled up with him. Keep the hell away. Yeah, except running away somehow vanished from my playbook. I'll literally lose my head over it. She shrugs and starts putting her helmet on. It's your problem, not mine. I bailed on that clusterfuck of a sire for a reason, and Unlife's been beautiful ever since. Good fucking luck, though. Pause for dramatic effect. And don't bother calling me again. Then she's gone, just an engine roar fading into the night. Right back at you, bitch. Without looking at Podrick, I let out an awkward laugh and kick at some loose stones. She's quite something. How are you holding up? I guess you say she's changed. She used to be a real sweet in a sour kind of way, you know? Guess the big city really does chew you up and spit you out. So the circulatory, huh? What's your take? Podrick mercifully bites his glib tongue and pretends not to see that I'm sorta in shambles. It appears that they are more eager to nab Renard Cassel than we anticipated, and they managed to acquire some incriminating intel. To be honest, things don't look too good for him. Great. And we're still no closer to finding him than we were last night, or whenever. There's also the matter of whether the circulatory system intends to hunt you as well by virtue of being Renard's accomplice. Oh, please, I'm hardly even a sidekick. He levels a blank stare at me, and I bark out a laugh, my spirits momentarily lifted. I rub my hands together briskly, suddenly feeling like mischief. Well, seeing as your Anarch lead didn't really pan out, guess we're hitting Sansaric next. Sansaric. It's probably Sansaric. He hesitates, idly twirling his rein, more a tick than an actual need this time. It is indeed our backup lead, but only need. Fine. At the moment, it is our only lead, but I have my reservations about Sansari. Let's unpack this back at my haven. Besides, dawn is nearly upon us. He starts walking toward the car, then pauses when he sees I haven't moved. I tug at the fraying edges of my sleeve, smiling at him almost apologetically. Yeah, funny story, but I can't. Literally. He sizes me up relentlessly. Kali, this isn't the moment for your antics. We need to move and quickly. Thing is, your haven isn't safe for me anymore. What are you? It's just the thing with my clan. If I crash in the same spot more than once a week, you might as well sweep me up at sundown, like with a broom. He looks at me piercingly, searching for deceit which for once isn't there. His fingers dance on his hands, spinning the ring furiously. Finally, they come to a stop. Yeah, I get it. I'm not messing around. Oh, you do? A hint of mirth sparkles in his gaze, though his expression remains stoic. Yeah. I guess that is like a Ravnos quirk. They can never sleep in the same place, uh, like each week. Interesting. Let's rendezvous at my place tomorrow night. I've got a private eye in mind who might have an idea where to find Sensark. A PI? You're not talking about D'Angelo, are you? He arches an eyebrow, a flicker of surprise on his face. Already acquainted, I see. More like disappointed. The leper's a good guy, but a dead end. Grilled him about Renard and got zilch. Even implied it was somehow my fault Renard vanished off the face of the earth. Well, Cassel is practically a ghost. Sansaric, on the other hand, is not exactly hiding. D'Angelo should know a thing or two about him. Fair? But he's a slippery little eel. We might need a leverage to get him talking. Might need leverage to get him talking. A shade of a smile crosses his face. Leave that to me. He'll talk. He turns around and climbs behind the perfectly serviceable wheel. Tomorrow dusk, my haven. Don't let me down. I give him a playful salute, waving as he pulls away. Oh, look at that. Night's bleeding into day already. I really need to get a move on. There's a damp little cellar that I've been eyeing. Ooh, back with food. Hopefully it's yummy. There's a damp little cellar that I've been eyeing for a crash pad. It's not exactly the Ritz, but I've done my homework. It's secure enough for a quick sleepover. Time's ticking, but with any luck, I'll snag some prey en route. It's not good to sleep on an empty stomach after all. Oh, okay, yeah. These bars are supposed to fill up. I see. This is like white, gray, so I am very hungry. Last resort, main quest. If you're a Ravenous, home is just a dead memory. You've only got a bunch of hideouts, some better than others, each offering a day's worth of safety, and one of them is close by, just waiting for me to hunker down and collect my thoughts. Yee, sandwich and chips. Ooh, what kind of sandwich? I've been making a lot of grilled ham and cheeses lately because I don't know. I just rediscovered grilled cheese is so good. Uh, and ham. Yeah, yeah. Grilled ham cheese. Great. Nice butter in the pan. Mm. If D'Angelo's Haven qualifies as a hovel, then this temporary shelter of mine is a full-on catastrophe. So utterly dismal it could force Tommy Wiseau to shed a genuine tear. Turkey, ham, salami, Swiss, provolone, cheddar cheese with mayo. Oh, that sounds good. That's a full-on like, yeah, like a club sandwich. Mmm. Yeah, all of it sounds good. 3 meats, 3 cheese. Call it the Tres Amigos. Mold is practically redecorating the ceiling. And let's not start on the bed. A suspiciously damp mattress that leaks some extra sus fluid on the floor with each squeeze. Ooh. You know, a spongy mattress. That's something. Alright. By the way, hold on one moment. I'm going to take a quick break and I will be back. Hey, I am back. Hello, Faith. Ooh, let me turn the BGM off. Hold on. Thank you, thank you. By the way, I forgot if I mentioned this to you, but remember playing zombies again, Law? Oh, good, have fun. Good luck with the Scarlet Witch. She yeah, if you don't have enough DPS, it can be rough. But I forgot to mention this to you, but I misread my sun sign thing, or what is it, my horoscope or my birth chart, and my moon sign is actually Gemini, not Aries. So my sun sign was Leo and moon sign was Gemini. So I forgot to tell you that, I think like a while ago, but I just remembered it when I was getting my dog some water. Home sweet effing home. Continue. But hey, at least it's pretty secure. Who's your favorite character for zombies? I feel like Magic has been mine because you can just take the passive where you can stay Darkchild all the time and just like spam your auto attack and clear waves. But Jeff, I feel like, is the best character for that mode because, I mean, his water gun does so much damage. Or as my friends call him, the bidet. His bidet does a lot of damage. Hey, at least it's pretty secure. There's zero chance of sunlight sneaking in here. Maybe because the resident microbes have evolved enough to shut out anything that threatens their germy utopia. I sprawl out on the lumpy mattress and sulk over my dead Walkman, cursing myself for not getting spare batteries. When Renard pulled the thing out, I legit thought he was going to wiretap me, but turns out he was just giving me a piece of his past. A little gift from the better times or whatever. Like the 80s? The 80s are the better times? Interesting. This particular song is really loud. I gotta turn it down. Okay. There we go. A little gift from the better times or whatever. Honestly, as if I needed another thing to play my tunes, our gang is not as uptight about going online as the tower, so we stream just like everyone else. Yeah, okay. So vampires do know about the internet and streaming services. It's just against their laws, I guess. Blade? Ooh, the Beyblade. He also super good at DPS, I feel like, in that mode. Because, like, his sustain is crazy. He just has all that self-heal, especially when you build him up with, I think there's, like, one card that gives him, like, extra self-heal. But I kind of got hooked, especially with the mountain of old cassettes crammed in our glove box. Digging through my belt bag in search of entertainment yields only the wooden stake that almost pierced my heart the night before. Shit, almost feels like another lifetime. Yeah, the Beyblade. Yeah, he goes just... Yeah, that Beyblade. He does spin hard. The stake sends my thoughts drifting to Podrick. Oh, she thinks about Patty. I'm conflicted too, to be honest. Can I trust him? He seems to be on my side, caring even. But there's something off about him, something unsettling. I can't put my finger on it. What if he's not actually a caitiff? What if he's lying? And he's actually like a magician? It doesn't help that he changed the length of my leash for no rhyme or reason. His mood swings faster than San Francisco weather. It's so annoying that he's now indispensable to my survival. I don't know, San Francisco has pretty consistent weather. It's always foggy in the morning with and then it clears up afterwards. So I don't know. Except for tonight, he was anything but. Still, he introduced me to Mato, my gut's screaming that this is going to be a game changer for navigating the city, maybe even beyond. Skylar, not so much. And Jess? Yeah, I'll hold off on poking out that sore spot for a bit longer, at least until after I shake off the dark sleep that's clawing at me, eager, suffocating, steadily pulling me into the abyss. Interesting. Bend. Meanwhile, let's see. Oh, mysterious black figure. I would say I've been more than considerate. She responds with silence and that unnervingly calm, icy stare that could easily drive one to the brink of madness. It's a weapon she's honed to perfection. I thought I'd be used to it by now, but it slices through me as viciously as the very first time. How long has it been now? 5, 6 months? Half a year trapped in this endless spin of justifications, half truths, and unfulfilled promises, constantly veered off course. Despite her alleged interest in my unique condition, despite our shared thirst for answers, despite the growing urgency, the resolution to my dilemma always hovers just behind or beyond my grasp. Still, she is the first kindred to make me believe she could truly grant me reprieve. I've been holding up my end of the bargain. Not once have I raised objections. Not once have I strayed from our agreement. Oh, that voice? Yeah. Yes, I can speak like this. Wait a bit. I just don't do it very often. But I'm not one of your puppets, Rita. I thought I made my stance unequivocally clear. Unequivocally clear. Sir, you're welcome. Thank you, thank you. Oh, Ricky. Ooh, got the scars and stuff. Must be like a Nosferatu. Kind of interesting with the bodice, though. She's got like a bodysuit bottom with a weird jacket top. Interesting. That you did. This cannot go on. You need to deliver on your promises, or I'm walking away. She cracks a smile, as stunning as it is rare, like a dragon flashing its fangs. It suits her, given her true nature. All in due time, dear. All in due time. Interesting. That was a little cutscene. Wait, what do I do now? Oh, end night. Yes, I'm so hungry. I need the blood for my stomach. Night 3. December 2024. Oh, this is literally last year, like 10 months ago. It's painfully obvious Podrick never believed I'd actually turn up for the meeting. I catch him off guard in front of his haven. He leans against the door absent-mindedly and yet anxiously spinning his ring while scanning his surroundings. In the seconds when he looks away, I creep up quietly and casually, relishing the oncoming surprise. You know, I've done that quite a bit before. Like, I've always tried to do that thing where you tap on one person's shoulder and then you pop out on the other side, and it never works because they always turn around the other way to like the other side that I'm gonna pop out on. I don't know. Maybe I'm just really bad at that. Um, some friendly ribbing is in order. Yeah, that's what we do. Hey there, pretty boy. You come here often? His head whips around, and for a split second, surprise and relief flashes across his face before it contorts into confusion. What do you mean? It's my haven. I sleep here. I deflate a bit out of exasperation, but still manage a light-hearted laugh. You're no fun. Apparently, he decides to ignore me, slipping back into his usual indifference. Gets into the car. I hop in right after. Let's pay D'Angelo a visit, shall we? Yeah, no dime to dilly-dally, right? Correct. And they've reused this little car. Hey, that voice almost killed me in game. Oof. Oh, was it creepy? It's one of my, I guess, evil, suspicious henchman voice. Probably more fitting for my character model. I should talk like this all the time. Oh, it wasn't bad. That's good. Yeah. Oh. Uh, I'm pretty sure he's ignoring my sharp-ass remarks on purpose, but the way he slams on the gas pedal, that gives me a tiny glimmer of hope that he's not in a lost cause. Either way, the perfectly serviceable vehicle does fine, cruising through the night streets, and this time it's not even that awkward. D'Angelo, you here? The shithole he calls an office looks just the way I left it 2 nights ago, except for some new pins on the corkboard where he charges crazy, and a trapdoor flung wide open, probably leading down to wherever he hides during the day. Maybe we shouldn't give it a minute. He won't keep us waiting too long. Yeah, I'm not doing that. It's us. Let's keep it in character. Hey, Mr. Detective, a damsel in distress desperately needs your help. And then there's me. Ah. Podrick rolls his eyes, but to my disappointment, there's no comeback. D'Angelo squints at me as he emerges from beneath the floor, his lips moving silently, and I strain my ears to hear it. They appear like shadows, the kind cast by the worn-out hopes and dreams of this wretched city. Dreams that could only be saved by none other than Gianni D'Angelo. Oh yeah, weird dude. Saved. That's a bit of a stretch, don't you think? He leans back over the rickety table, shaking his head as if to dislodge the noir cliches stuck in his brain. Golly, a pleasure. As D'Angelo turns to Podrick, I catch a hint of a smirk tugging at the corner of his mouth. Johnny. Podrick, looks like you're still losing your head. Just not literally, huh? Indeed. The sheriff is yet to relieve me of my cranial burden. But worry not, there's still time until the new year. Wish you good luck on the moor. I always like to hang out on the right side in that little, where there's that little bridge, but I guess with Blade, you just gotta go all out, balls out. You might yet win that little bet of ours. I probably shouldn't pry, given the fact that my own neck is on the line here, but I mean, there's a treasure trove of relationship to dig into here. Anyway, we came here to... There's more to the relationship. Find out how you two clowns know each other. Come on, give me the juicy deets. D'Angelo shrugs dismissively. He showed up a while back, pestering me about some anarch girl and her inner voices. Oh. What was that girl's name? Sana. Yes, that's right, Sana. Would you believe we clicked over what might just be the greatest movie ever? Is it Pulp Fiction? Which is his way of saying I quoted the Maltese Falcon at him once, completely butchering the line in the process. An anarch girl, you mean, what's her name, Sana, who got beheaded by the sheriff? D'Angelo's already ugly face twists into an even uglier grimace. Yes, D'Angelo. He stops, tossing the gumshoe a cautious look. Go on, I'm not the one to dodge blame. I killed her. You did what a PI does, tracked her down and brought her in. You weren't the one holding the blade that ended her suffering. Same difference. In a rare bout of tactfulness, I decide to not pursue the subject. I'd love to have a catch-up with you, Johnny, but we did have an agenda walking in here. A glimmer of light flickers into D'Angelo's shades as he turns toward me. I hate to break it to you, but if you're here for intel on Cassell, you're out of luck. No new leads since we last talked. It concerns Cassell, broadly speaking, although he's not exactly the crux of our conversation right now. Sweet Lord. I agree. I've never heard someone say crux of our conversation. That's like that would be interesting if someone said that in real life. That'd be so formal. Eli Sansaric. Yeah, Eli Sansaric. Where do we find him, Gianni? D'Angelo narrows his eyes, squinting at me suspiciously and fiddles with his e-cig. Oh my gosh. The sound of vapes going... Oh, I know that sound well. D'Angelo. The serpent. What's your angle? What are you after? He's my ticket out of this, man. He's like the only one of Renard's contacts that doesn't seem to fucking despise him. Since our other lead was a bust, he's my best shot at finding Renard and shaking the Camarilla off my back. D'Angelo tilts his head like some curious, funky, ugly little rat. Damn. Heard through the grapevine you're marked for the chop, but shit. Yeah, and I'd love to dish out all the dirty details, but I'm seriously pressed for time. So where the hell is Sensaric? Honestly, your guess is as good as mine. D'Angelo takes a long drag of his e-cig as if he's really trying to savor the flavor. I wonder if he actually makes an effort to kickstart his taste buds, or if it's just part of his usual act. I wonder what flavor a vampire would vape. Do they vape blood flavored? How do you... Tiger's blood? I guess dragon's blood? What flavor does a vampire vape? Sansaric and his serpents are gone from Harlem, and nobody really knows why. I've got theories, but they're just that, so... But you're itching to tell me, right? I flash him a dazzling smile, but he just scowls in return. He takes one more drag to regain his noir composure. What was that old line? Water under the bridge? I give him a curious glance. His answer was just a touch too quick and out there, as if he suddenly got nervous, but D'Angelo speaks up before I can probe any further. Look, I'd be doing you dirty throwing half-baked hints your way. Just check Sansaric's usual hangouts. St. Philip's in the vicinity of Morningside Park are your best bet. They're not far from each other. You might just dig something up there. Thank you, D'Angelo. Those are solid leads. Ah, the faint whiff of sincerity in your bullshit makes it almost charming. I know they're not quite the Glengarry leads you're after, but hey, on those nights, beggars can't be choosers. Glengarry? I've never heard of that. Glengarry leads. Interesting. So, is this intel gonna cost me the usual 2 blood bags? You keep your stash, kiddo. Just clue me in on where Sansaric's hiding once you sniff him out, and we're square. His ugly mug suddenly goes serious as he straightens up and steps closer, eyeing both Podrick and me intensely. Last time I warned you that shit's gonna hit the fan soon, but that's old news already. It's way worse now. You can feel it, can't you? I think D'Angelo's like, owes someone big time. I nod almost instinctively, catching Podrick doing the same. I'm bailing earlier than planned, and I'm strongly advise you to consider doing the same. I won't sugarcoat it. I could use a lift, and you could use some level-headed advice on the road. He looks genuinely terrified. Podrick and I slowly exchange looks before shaking our heads. I can't. Not just yet. Things are heated, I understand, but at the moment Kali can't leave and I have been saddled with helping her in a way I can only describe as non-negotiable. D'Angelo sighs, slumping visibly, and waves his hand dismissively. There's something going on with D'Angelo. He really wants us to skip town, and he wants to skip town too, so I think he's like in some debt or something. He's about to flip on us. Something. In that case, just keep your eyes peeled for trouble, alright? Yeah, you too, pal. Until next time, D'Angelo, hopefully under a brighter moon. We're almost at the door when I hear his response, barely louder than a breath. Bright nights are all gone. Only nightmares remain. Oh yeah, he's in some deep personal shit. Maybe he's just vaping his e-cig a little more than usual to like cover up his anxiety. I should write that down. Podrick and I come to a stop in front of a perfectly serviceable vehicle. We should... Now, I already know the crap you're gonna dish out. No splitting up, Callie. I can't fully trust you yet, Callie. But listen, it's late as hell already, so we gotta hustle. If we both go chasing Sensaric in the same spot, all we're gonna catch is sunrise. We've got to divide and conquer. I concur. See, I knew you'd... Hold up, what do you mean you concur? A subtle smirk plays at the corner of his mouth before he reins it in. I agree that we have too much ground to cover, and since you kept your word and didn't flee last time, I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt once more. I just stare at him, confused as hell, before erupting into laughter. I don't recognize you, man. Where's the stick up the ass patty? Who's this loose cannon they replaced him with? Podrick twitches briefly, his smile disappearing without a trace, and fingers crawling toward the ring don't slip my notice. He bounces back swiftly, though, and tucks his hands in his pockets. Let's part ways for now. Do you have a preferred destination? Ooh. I get to pick a place. Night 3. The idea of finding Sunstrick in Morningside Park seems sketchy as hell, but hey, at least it's a lead that we actually have. I want to go to the church, yeah. Let's do it. St. Patrick's Episcopal Church. I haven't been to a church in ages, so fingers crossed the floor won't scorch my feet, and that I find some info on what the heck happened to Sensaric. Yeah. Podrick drops me off right at the church's entrance and then hurries off to comb through Morningside Park for any trace of Sensaric. Finding the church wasn't easy. Hell, nothing really is outside the usual New York hotspot list. But once you hit the right street, you just can't miss it. Miss it. It looms large, that huge rose window glaring down at a patch of land which, in the warmer months, is probably a vibrant green. Right now, though, it's just a dead white blanket of snow. I stare at the church, rubbing my hands together and thinking hard. I guess there's nothing to it. I just have to check this place out, brick by brick, cranny by cranny. The church is bolted up tight for the night, but when has that shit ever stopped me, right? A couple of twists and some elbow grease, and that crusty old padlock snaps open. Yeah, you just need some, like a aluminum can that you can make a shim out of, and most padlocks are pretty shimmable. I used to have this thought not too long after the embrace. Every time I went by a church or a chapel, what if I set foot inside and I get fried? What if I set foot inside and get fried to a crisp by divine wrath? Hmm. It is interesting. Vampire making a church their hideout. I mean, Renard did clue me in a bit on how shit works in this twisted new world, or not yet, new world. He wasn't exactly jumping to teach me anything beyond the tricks of the game, but he was crystal clear that unless I got astronomically unlucky, garlic was nothing to worry about. Still, it took some serious guts to step into a church for the first time, and when I finally did, I didn't burst into flames, but I did stumble upon a missionary who'd made it out of North Korea, and I actually learned a couple of things. Wait, what? Missionary out of North Korea? I'm pretty sure they don't have, like, Christianity in North Korea. So it's kind of crazy, A, that a missionary got into North Korea, and then B, got out of it. That's actually kind of crazy. First off, seeing a holy cross like a consecrated one gives me the heebie-jeebies, a bizarre quirk that's totally unique to me, I guess, since Bernard burst out laughing when I mentioned it. Second, people with that rare, deep, unshakable faith seriously freak me out. They make me feel like a terrified critter in a wildfire, doom hot on my heels. Man, I just realized this entire visual novel kind of sounds like a campaign that you would have in the tabletop RPG. It has all of the same personality quirks you get when you're creating a character. Interesting. Before I got embraced, I never really picked a lane about this kind of stuff. Uh, Damn, what is it? Did Namor smoke you guys? Uh, or something else? Was it the witch? Hopefully not. Before I got embraced, I never really picked a lane about this kind of stuff. Yes, being undead decided it for me. She was never really religious. Okay. So if I'm going to meet my final death, it's going to be in a blaze of glory doing something awesome. Ah, she's a city mouse. Likes to and go out in a blaze of glory than a quiet whimper. Reckless and highly entertaining, not because I got singed by holy water. There's not a soul in sight, just a shit ton of rats. I mean, sure, they're sort of the unofficial mascots of the city, but this place is crawling with them. And they are huge, fat as fuck, as if they ate like kings. All the rats in New York are fat as fuck. There's so much garbage. It's like they're just monsters, man. The cats don't mess with them. They're just too big. Though I do hear that there's like dogs in clubs that go around like ratting or whatever. I have to step carefully because I've already dodged a few outraged squeaks and attempts to bite my ankles. Ugh, that's nasty. At least no crucified Jesus is hanging around anywhere. Guess even he has to crash at his buddy's place when his pad is getting a makeover. It takes me a while to thoroughly search the premises and confirm that since Sarek is indeed elsewhere, honestly, it's hard to tell if he was ever here at all. After a few minutes of aimless wandering, I stumble upon a notice board cluttered with scraps of paper, parish notices, holy pictures, and what look like handwritten prayers. As a connoisseur of the weird and wonderful, only one prayer catches my eye. Its paper oddly untouched by the time's passing. It's so glaringly out of place that I can't help gently pulling it off the board for a closer look. Oh, I probably should have sent Podrick to the church because he's like a history buff. And I should have gone to the park. Dang it. Uh, North of the heavens, his grand celestial shrine, brother in the Lord united by blood divine. Island blessed by his touch where saints and angels shine. Well, I guess that's what local publishing does to poetry. North of heavens, his grand celestial shrine, brother in the Lord, united by blood divine, island blessed by his touch, where saints and angels shine. Is it Coney Island? Suddenly, I'm hit with a weird urge to share this find with Patrick. I wonder if he'd be puzzled by the text, or he'd just crack a smile and start rattling on about its true meaning. Guided by that impulse, I tuck the prayer into my belt bag, and as life goes on, I promptly forget about it, especially when a whole swarm of rats bursts out of a crack in the wall, their incessant chittering filling the air. But what piques my interest is a trapdoor right next to the crack, its outline barely visible against the dusty flooring. Where could it lead? There's a sudden itch to get to the bottom of it, literally and figuratively. I have to. I need to find out, to explore the unknown, the perilous, the hidden. Ooh, she's got the curiosity of the cat without the 9 lives. Overwhelmed by a fierce curiosity, I scramble on my hands and knees like an animal, groping around the trap door for any handle, lock, or leverage point I can find. Sure enough, there's a small handle, but no lock, just a narrow slit where the trapdoor doesn't quite fit right. I shove my fingers into the slit and find out it's been bolted shut from the inside. The question of how someone locked it barely registers as the bitter taste of disappointment and frustration floods my mouth. Hmm. Only now I notice voices drifting in from outside. They're distant, so it's tough to tell if they're a threat or just some dudes on a late night booze cruise. But this barrier, this delayed gratification, it really fucking pisses me off. I need to get in. I'm gonna take a risk. Big risk. Before I can suppress the feral urge, I find myself snarling like a beast, tearing the door apart in a fit of uncontrollable rage. Oh, it's time for Scarlet Witch. Good luck. Good luck. Hopefully you out DPS her when she does her reality erasure. Um, yeah, I've always found that one to be the hard part because like there's no way of dodging it as far as I know. You just have to kill her before she gets it off. He yields to my unnatural strength as easily as soggy cardboard, and soon I've got enough grip to just rip the trapdoor off its hinges and fling it aside without a second thought. I look into the yawning darkness beneath. Perhaps it leads to the crypts or some other intriguing underground parts of this church. Not that it really matters. The narrow passage is jam-packed with corpses. They're ah, they're in various stages of decay, and they've all been gnawed on by rats. They don't look like anyone in particular, but then again, it's hard to tell with their flesh full of holes and tears. Ooh, that's some of them may have been bitten by a fellow kindred, with what looks like puncture wounds on their necks. These marks are well concealed, though, concealed among the countless rat bites. Right as I fully snap back to reality. The voices grab my attention once more. This time they're louder, more urgent, coming from the vicinity of the vestry. Shit. No fucking chance I'm waiting around to find out who they belong to. I leave the trap door open and hurry toward the exit, the figures under the rose window taunting me as I bail. I hate leaving things in such a mess. Okay. But didn't find much in the way of clues, but it'll have to do. I leisurely approach the meeting spot just in time for Patrick to pull over, and so I gracefully get into the car, closing the door behind me. Fingers crossed he snagged a better lead than I did. Ah, we're back to the car scene. Ah, the perfectly serviceable vehicle as it is. So, any updates on your end, since Sarek wasn't chilling in the park, was he? No look there, unfortunately. It was a dead end. I noticed a slight twitch in his right eyebrow. Is he pissed about wasting time on nothing? Or is it about something else? Probably a tell. He's probably lying. Something happened. How about you? Did you find anything at the church? No, not really. Unless Samsaric turned into a rat, then yeah. There were tons of little Samsarics running around. Oh, she's not going to mention the corpses in the basement. Could you be more specific? Yeah, it was a real shit show down there. Someone's dumped a whole bunch of bodies into the crypt. Oh, she is going to tell. I would have checked the bodies for some ID, but these sketchy types were hovering around the church. Didn't stick around long enough to see if they were on the hunt. I see. That's a lovely reasoning I wouldn't have expected from you, to be blunt. Still, it's a welcome surprise despite how, poorly your investigation turned out. Was there anything of note other than rats? Oh, now that you bring it up, I pull out the handwritten prayer I found on the notice board. Check out this prayer here. I figure he'll skim it while multitasking, but nope, Podrick immediately pulls over before he even touches the note. Safety first, huh? What a guy. I would too. I mean, if someone tells me to read something, I would probably stop driving. Um, eyes on the road. What do you make of it? Not sure. It just caught my eye. A clean piece of paper among raggedy scraps. Patrick reads through it carefully a few times, and I could swear I see a light bulb go off above his head. I reckon you're onto something, Kali. Here, pay attention to the first words of each line. I lean closer. North Brother Island, huh? Interesting. It's one of those islands in the East River, a fairly bleak spot, which fits the ministry to a T when you think about it. We both sit in silence for a moment as he absently spins his ring, looking downright miserable. So, so this is our best shot, I guess. Sure seems that way. Better step on it. We don't have much time before sunrise. All right. Oh, going into the river. North Brother Island. Ah, I didn't know that. Interesting. I used to be one of those kids who was always running around and stirring up some shit after school. Shocking, I know. One of the favorite pastimes of my gang of little rascals was exploring the ruins of the Old Hill Hospital at night. Well, exploring might be a bit of a stretch. We never actually got inside, just dared each other to stare into the windows for as long as we could. Usually, I was the last girl standing, but let me tell you, those hours after dusk in the fall, when every whisper of the wind, every rustle of the trees was multiplied by 100, they were torture. Now I kind of miss those days. So when Podrick and I hit the wrecked pier of North Brother Island and see the derelict buildings nearby, I almost squeal with delight. Almost. The ambience is pretty much ruined by the shiny new ribs moored along the pier. Ribs? Is that, what is it? Rubber inflatable boats? RIBs? Some of them have clearly been used in the last few hours, judging by the mud and melted snow on the seats. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I assume rib is a boat. Yeah, rubber inflatable boats. Just to make sure we're on the same page, what exactly is your connection to Sensaric? Sensaric. We lost. Sorry to hear that. Be fairly honest, Callie. Be careful, Callie. How are you going to be honest with him? He's been straight. So you know I deal on the, let's call it the darker side of the web, right? It has come up, yes. Well, Sansaric was technically Renard's client, but I was the one handling all the sketchy stuff he requested. Never met the guy or anything. Everything always went through Renard, but Sansaric is the only client I know by name. I see. You mentioned before that he and Cassell had a relatively good relationship. How do you plan to exploit that? I snort, half pissed that he knows me too damn well, half amused by that good relationship crap, since all it means is they didn't try to actively kill each other. Yeah, what a relationship. I'm just about to break it down for him when suddenly we're cut off by gunshots. Oh, we're doing gang wars in New York. Ha 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 ha. That are vampire hunters, but I assume guns aren't very effective against vampires. And they're getting closer. We duck down and observe as some guy comes tearing onto the pier, screaming his lungs out in terror. He's running backwards, tripping over every bump while desperately trying to shoot at something in the trees, unaware that his clip has been empty for a while. He's decked out head to toe in urban warfare gear, reminiscent of the hunters I had the pleasure of meeting a few times lately. He hasn't noticed us yet. Blinded by his delirious fear, perfect moment to strike. Feed. Yeah, I'm hungry. Feed startled hunger. He's got no ammo. My footsteps are silent on the compacted snow as I sneak up on the guy, quieter than a ghost. In a flash, I knock the gun from his trembling hands. Before he even knows what hit him, his scream is choked off by a soft, surprised moan as my fangs seek into his corded neck. Bet I'll share my sandwich. Yeah, feed. I'm not picky when it comes to feeding, but fuck me, he tastes vile. High on adrenaline, muscles already burning with lactic acid from his panicked run. It's a weird feeling, the bliss of satiation mixed with the disgusting taste of my meal. I always assume with vampires, like, even bad blood is pretty good blood. I drink enough and lay his body onto the ground, wiping my mouth off with a disgusted grimace. All done. I resist the urge to spit. Oh, I see. So when the meter fills up white, that means you're in bad shape. I see. So gray is good. Yeah, but shit, he was foul. He did look the type, yes. If those were Sansaric's ministers who pushed this poor bastard to the edge, I'm not exactly eager to meet him myself. Podrick nods, looking at the lifeless body. He makes no move to hide it, so I don't bother either. We share a quick glance before sneaking cautiously through the thicket toward the ruins looming over the bare trees. Sip of water. Tread carefully through the bushes, mindful of the crunch of the snow underfoot. Let's be honest, the distant gunshots wouldn't have covered the sound of a stampede. Although the shooting has died down in the last couple of minutes, and replaced by blood-curdling screams of torment, we stumble upon several corpses, and surprisingly a decapitated skeleton with scraps of decomposing flesh still clinging to it. The murder of crows feasting on the scene couldn't care less. To them, carrion's carrion. This gives us both some pause. Those fuckers. The screams are almost drowning out the gunfire now, suggesting that the ministers might be getting the upper hand. Better them than the hunters. I just hope they don't mistake us for enemies and decide we deserve a similar fate. Uh, Great, Kelly. You've got yourself right in the middle of a fucking war zone. The whole city feels like a battlefield these nights. It's just our luck that we arrived here right in time for the hostilities here. So what's the plan? We could try sneaking past, hoping the hunters are too busy with the serpents to notice us, or... Look, over there, there's a spot under that collapsed floor where we could hide out and wait for this to blow over. Podrick cocks his head, pondering, absent-mindedly twirling his ring, not in a panic this time, but more like using it to focus. Interesting. Huh. Finally, he drops his hands and looks at me calmly. I say we go with whatever your daredevil instinct recommends. You sure you didn't hit your head on your way here? Positive. Let's score some points with Sansaric. Yeah, we need allies, right? Yeah. Well, let's kick some ass then. Maybe that'll score us a few points with Sansaric right off the bat. Podrick nods and follows me as I kick down the door and enter the ruined building, every sense heightened as my vitae surges in anticipation of a fight. The floor is a jigsaw of body parts. You could probably piece together a few old bodies from the mess if you were so inclined, but I left my glue gun in the RV. I walk over them carelessly, only half noticing the sickening crunch of bone under my boots. As we creep through the building, Podrick suddenly stops and flashes 3 fingers at me. I press myself against the wall, tuning into the hunters in the next room. Podrick slyly kicks a pebble to mimic footsteps. Fooled, 2 hunters burst out, shotguns at the ready. With just a flick of his wrist, Podrick has one hunter gunning down the other. Confusion washes over the shooter's face just before I rip his throat out. The last one starts freaking out, blasting his assault rifle everywhere, trying to shoot us through the walls. I duck behind the doorframe and sneak a quick glance. He's alone, terrified, and the crows cawing outside the window are not helping him one bit. But let's be real, in this horror show, we are the monsters. We are the monsters. Take no step further. I take a deep breath and reinforce it with my vitae, retching the voice out of my throat as if shredding my vocal cords. Halt. The hunter freezes for a moment. That was not a very good vocal shred, but it'll do. The hunter freezes for a moment, scared shitless, but before he can shake off that terror, Podrick moves closer, rips the gun out of his hands, and clobbers the mortal with the butt. And I know that in games that usually means the enemy is knocked out, but not actually dead. But the way his head explodes like a smashed watermelon, yeah, I don't think this hunter's getting up anytime soon. The clamor we cause inevitably draws more trouble. As we turn to leave, a bunch of hunters fleets in, weapons at the ready. We go back to back and switch places, throwing them off balance, but before we can lunge, we hear a loud ting, and the hunter in front of the door looks like he's about to lose his head. And that's exactly what happens. His head is severed by a cut so clean that his body stands dumbly for a moment before crumpling onto the ground. Behind stands a group of serpents, all decked out in leathers and gold, scary as fuck. For a split second, the room goes deathly quiet, and then all hell breaks loose. Podrick and I hardly need to intervene. The hunters and serpents clash with each other. Gunshots echo, cries fill the air, and blood flows freely. It's all over in less than a minute, and the kindred, predictably, emerge victorious, leaving one last victim unscathed. The silence that fills or falls is so oppressive that it almost buzzes in my ear. I start to think I've gone deaf, but I see Podrick checking his ears and I relax a little, relieved that I'm not the only one so overwhelmed. Serpents don't move, don't speak, only look at us judgmentally, calculatingly. In this heavy silence, filled only by the scent of blood, the sound of approaching footsteps echoes like thunder. The man who enters the room is barely my height, but he carries himself with the grandeur of a king, the ruthless ruler of his domain. Eli Sansaric, the most powerful snake himself. From the silence of his movements, it is instantly clear that his thunderous entrance was all for show, an intimidation, a warning. Interesting. Magnanimously, he was giving the assailants a chance to flee in disgrace. I see. Or letting them scatter for a more interesting hunt, more likely. I was going to say, if you have vampire hunters, why would you let them escape and regroup? Yeah, I guess you just let them run, because you like the thrill of the chase. Hell, I'm not sure why Podrick and I didn't just bolt. The last remaining hunter tries frantically to crawl away, but he collapses under Sansaric's steel-capped boot. That's when I realized why the serpent is walking so oddly. He's dragging a dead hunter impaled on the enormous claws protruding from his fingers. The body slides to the ground with a hollow thud. A kindred who seems to be his child. Oh, progeny. Okay. A second in command hands him a clean handkerchief, which he uses to wipe the blood off his hands, and he promptly flings it onto the corpse. Standing over the whimpering hunter, he surveys the mortal with sheer disdain, then tilts his head to make direct eye contact with me. Oh. Interesting. For a snake guy called a snake, I would think he would look like more snake-like other than wearing a snakeskin jacket. Like, he doesn't look very snaky. The other person we saw looked more like a snake with the facial scars and stuff. Given that you've been smeared with the blood of the cattle, am I right to assume that you are not part of their pathetic assault? There's something to him, this youth pastor intensity. Youth pastor? That prompts me to answer immediately and recklessly. Snaky little snaky snake. Indeed. Please, I've had enough bullshit from their crew already. No, we're siblings in arms here. Let us not get ahead of ourselves. I toss him a sour glance, making me look uncool in front of the battle pastor. Sansaric's gaze locks on me, unblinking, his posture rigid as a cobra's. Ooh, hello deepness. His stare is so intense it almost makes me sweat. If I could sweat, that is, and if I weren't so damned used to pressure. Interesting, vampires can't sweat. I guess that makes sense. They're just always cold. They never overheat. I wonder if a vampire is like, in an oven or something, or in the desert. I guess they can't go out during the day, so it's always cold in the desert for them. I try to appear relaxed and confident when he lets out a short, sharp whistle. Instantly, two of his serpents lift the last hunter, dropping his limp body into a standing position. But Sansaric doesn't spare him a glance. His eyes are fixed on me. He's been a real annoyance, this one. Quite the rogue, wouldn't you say? Of course you would. Why don't you teach him a lesson? It's clearly not a real question, and the only acceptable response is a dutiful, yes, sir. Oh. Wait. I can try seducing them? Love what you hate. Oh. Spill your... Yeah, let's go with the, what is this? Lingering kiss. Love what you hate. The perpetually spinning cogs in my head go into overdrive looking for a way to impress Sansaric. What do I know about him? He'd relish a show of power, that's for sure. But in what flavor? Cruel? Formidable? Considering Sansaric was almost going to let them run away, gave him the offer, I assume he just likes power in any variety. I'm running out of time. I feel my excitement rising like the tide, and the itch to do something dangerous and reckless returns with suffocating strength. I seize the whimpering mortal by the hair and plunge my fangs deep into his neck, letting my power surge through me and into his flesh during our unholy communion. I drink his blood, reveling in the way it temporarily quenches my hunger, but most of all, I make it feel good. Electrifying. Unparalleled. Oh, I'm gonna make the hunter feel really nice. Get him addicted. No, don't. This hunter won't last long without yearning for another kiss, just like a man stranded in the desert would beg, maim, kill for a drop of water. He would do anything, everything to satisfy this overwhelming need for more. Ooh, got him hooked. Got him hooked, at least for a time. I detach myself from his neck and gently lower him to the ground. His eyes glazed and vacant, his hand trembles as it reaches for his throat, fingers tenderly brushing the bite marks with a mix of longing and astonishment. I step back, giving Sansarik a smug, expectant look. He gives a nod of amusement. Interesting idea. Making a hunter addicted to what he hates as much as he fears it. I nod, thankful for what I guess is a compliment. Sansarik's snake-like eyes finally shifted from me to that pathetic pile of crap on the ground that used to be a proud hunter. But it's not enough. He approaches the hunter slowly, lazily, and then with both hands lifts the mortal off the ground by the shoulders. I watch from the sidelines as Sansarik's bearing changes completely. Gone in the relentless intensity of the danger, the zeal. His eyes look soft and sweet when he locks them with the hunter's and murmurs something into his ears, gently as if soothing a frightened animal. I watch with increasing surprise as the hunter melts into Sansarik's arms and embraces him, sobbing into the crook of his neck and clawing desperately at his back as if trying to draw him closer. It looks intimate. Wait. Oh, Eli is going to, kind of seduce him too. It looks intimate, reverent, an encounter with the most beloved divine. Sansarik carefully pulls away, ignoring the hunter's clinging hands, and fishes out a hand grenade from the hunter's gear. Return to your patron. Make him see the error of his ways. The hunter immediately gets up, feet unsteady, and limps away, through the door and into the cold darkness. Oh, he's going to make the guy suicide bomb with a grenade. Very nice. His gait is awkward and clearly uncomfortable because he doesn't, not even for a second, avert his worshipful eyes from Sansarik's face. Come. He struts towards the pier, his entourage obediently in tow. And of course, we're dragged along too, thanks to an overly persistent serpent who thinks shoving us is somehow necessary. Yeah. Ooh. By the way, I think this will be my last chapter for the night, and I'll try and pick back up tomorrow. It's not like we have a choice, right? With no more distractions, the path seems way shorter than I remember. I can see one of those ribs bobbing on the East River in the distance. Must be the charmed hunter off to ruin his boss's night. Yeah. That's kind of crazy that he just tells the guy, like, go suicide bomb your boss. And the dude just does it. That's kind of OP. OP charisma. Now. Sansarik turns to Podrick and me, sizing us up with an icy glare. But even though his tone regains that frightening intensity from before, now there's a hint of benevolence. Interesting. You have the misfortune of catching me in a nasty mood, I'm afraid. But if you provide an acceptable explanation for trespassing on my turf, I might just let you go. Well? I flick a glance at Podrick and catch a subtle nod out of the corner of my eye. Name's Kali, and this here's... Oh, I know who that is. The Baron's lapdog. The court's errand boy. I'm more interested in you. Gotta say, being in this kind of spotlight doesn't exactly boost my confidence. I'm Renard Kessel's child. I run with his coterie, and I know you've had business relationships with him. I was actually the one who rushed the delivery of those trinkets you wanted. I didn't realize Sansarik's face could grow even more sour, but here we are. His lips curl down, he knits his eyebrows, and he glares at me like I just kicked his cat. But then unexpectedly, he throws his head back and laughs. Loud, free, mocking laughter that makes me lose my cool. His laughter abruptly stops, and he's back to staring at me coldly, unblinkingly, perfectly poised. I haven't heard from good old Ray in months, child. Whatever you think you procured for me went to someone else's hands. Oh, oh. He's been scanned by Ray. Damn, Casella's just a dick. He falls silent briefly, and then his serpent eyes narrow. Do you even know what exactly it was that you acquired for him? My silence is his my silence is his answer. Not gonna lie, his words hit me hard and I'm a little flustered. Renard rarely deigned to share his plans with me, but it wasn't like he made a habit of lying straight to my face. Why would he hide it from me specifically? As Sinsarg makes yet another disparaging sound at me, Podrick clears his throat and shifts the Setite's scalding focus onto himself. Would you mind telling us about your last dealings with Cassel? Any information could help. I roll my eyes at the stiff and obvious attempt at wheedling info out of Sinsarg, but he only smirks, then sighs as if thinking about Renard brought him great anguish. Which admittedly, it might have. Nobody really thinks about Renard unless they absolutely have to, and by that time it's usually too late. I don't mind, though I must say that brat truly was insufferable. Fixated on the antediluvians like a child obsessed with a new toy. I'm staring at him, totally lost. Antediluvians? Oh, before the flood. So they're like pre-BC, or BC era vampires. That's a first. What did Renard even want with the antediluvians? And why did he go asking the ministry? As if reading my mind, Sinsarek tosses me a sharp look and continues. How we came to learn that my clan, me in particular, holds knowledge of our most ancient ancestors is a mystery to me. But he seek me out, he did, asking numerous questions about ancestry, power, and blood. I jump a little when he waves his hand dismissively after such a long period of standing still. Let me be perfectly clear. The history of Clan Ravnos was never of interest to me, and I had little desire to discuss it. Neither had Renard, up until a few months ago. What prompted his interest in these topics? I haven't the slightest, but I'd bet the promise of profit was his primary motivation. What I will say, however, is that his focus on, how do you put it, business relations waned significantly. That's news to me as well. As far as I know, it was pretty much business as usual all the fucking time. Yeah, this Cassell, he's a real dick. Just a slimy scoundrel. For the first time in our conversation, Sansarek's face twists into the picture of true savagery. No more pleasantness, exasperation, or hints of courtesy. Only anger, relentless and feral. Bernard Cassel has been slipping in his promises, O child of his. I am done, graciously waiting for reparations. I sneak a look at Podrick and see him nod at me encouragingly. So I collect all the broken and uncertain pieces of myself and put them back together again. You can do it, Callie. Be charming, be careful, be calm. Never make promises even those you intend to keep. I get it. So let me speak plainly. Renard's missing. Whether he's gone for good or just lying low, I can't say. No one's been able to reach him. I think he's out there somewhere, hiding, but he's off the radar. You've got your ear to the ground. Heard anything about Renard in the last few nights? I have no interest in that brat in so much as the objects he swore to procure for me. And since now I'm aware he had no hand in obtaining them, it is high time that I move on to greener pastures. Don't you think? Especially since I know they intend to deliver, yes? Oh, so he's recruiting me now. Sark almost seems like he might lighten up with a wink, but no, his expression snaps back to its usual icy detachment, as he leans forward slightly, his gaze as steady and chilling as a snake's. Renard Cassel meddles with powers beyond his ken. I wouldn't be surprised if this sudden uptick in hunter activity was linked to his actions, one way or another. I wait, hoping he'll elaborate on this strange and frankly insulting connection he's implying, but it seems he considers our discussion done. He straightens up and signals to his second in command, who quickly moves in to receive his whispered instructions. There's no way this can be all we take away from such a critical meeting. I catch Patrick's eye and subtly move closer to him, ensuring our next words are shielded from any serpent's ears. What's our next move? Sansirk's clueless about Renard too? Your sire's messing with dangerous shit? Great. Tell me something I don't know. What now? He hesitates briefly. Does it bother you that Cassell has been undermining you and reneging on commitments that involve your work? Yeah. Yeah, kinda, and by kinda I mean a hell of a lot. I know he's a bastard and I'm no saint either, but we had this unspoken agreement that we're not gonna screw each other over, you know? I see. Shall we take our farewell then? Hold up. There's one more thing I need to ask. I back away from our little huddle and cough to grab Sansarik's attention. He acknowledges me right away, but he takes his sweet time wrapping up his chat before shooting me an impatient look. Just one more thing before we scram. The circulatory system seems to have a hit list and Renard's sitting at the top. Any clue what that's about? Sansarik's eyes narrow in anger and contempt. Well, color me astonished. He was blabbing on and on about his latest illustrious benefactor who could help him circumvent the red market. He makes such a sour face that if we were still mortals, I'm sure he'd be spitting in disgust. Seems like he ended up on the bad side of that slumbering bitch on the Hudson. Frankly, good riddance with that. I'm utterly lost here. And, who do you mean exactly? My attention remains fixed on Sansarik, but I can't ignore the abrupt, frantic motion of Podrick violently spinning his damned ring. Sansarik gnashes his teeth, and a low, seething murmur ripples through his followers. Oh my gosh, this word. That Sesamiski bitch, Rita, or whatever the fuck her name is. You don't know her? Then count your blessings, child. What is Sesamiski? Mische. Seesmishche. To the Seesmish, possession is all. They aim to dominate and own the subject of their possessiveness, jealously guarding it like their namesake dragon, but its horde. Everything from land, people, cults, companies, or gangs can fall under the covetous claws of a dragon. This relentless desire extends to their own bodies as well, and they often rework themselves into flawless, hideous, or utterly alien forms, all the better to display their utter control over all things theirs. Monikers, dragons, the old clan, voivodes, stokers, voivodes. We're a voivode. I've heard that before. What's her deal? Her deal is that she waltzes in like she owns the place and steals what's been rightfully ours for decades. His eyes blaze with a pure yellow light, things elongating as his jaw loosens in a furious scream. I swear I catch a glimpse of a forked tongue flickering back into his mouth as he calms down, regaining his usual captivating appearance. I add two and two together and realize this Vitra must have been the one who ousted the serpents from their turf in Harlem. I shoot a knowing glance at Podrick, but he's too fixated on that damn ring of his, so I decide to press Sansarik a bit harder. I wonder what kind of relationship Renard has with this Vitra. Do you think... I do not think about her, child of Renard, nor do I wish to start. My time is precious. We're done here. Zimisi? Zimisi? Or Jimmy... Yeah, Jimisi? Interesting. Yeah, I've never heard that word before. Jimisi. Sounds like Polish or something. Or Czech. Jimisi. So much for pressing. Sensoric fully turns his back to me, conferring with some of his serpents. I strain my ears to hear their whispers, not even out of a need to hear what they're saying, but more out of sheer curiosity. The Podrick gently tugs on my sleeve. I think our meeting has concluded. We should leave before Sansaric himself drives us off his turf. Fuck us. I don't want to be so negative. Actually, Holly is always negative. Well, that was a fucking waste of time. Well, at least we confirmed that Sansaric had nothing to do with Cassel's disappearance. Let's discuss strategy once we're gone from this place. I nod, clear my throat loudly, and speak without waiting for Sansaric to face me. Thanks for not throwing us out on our asses sooner, Sansaric, and for the info too. We'll get out of here now. I spin on my heel, but his stare halts me dead in my tracks. You should leave the city, child. Looking for that sire of yours will yield nothing but death and ruin. And if your leaving means that brat digs himself deeper into his own shit, he gives me a smirk, the first one yet. That I might be willing to lend a hand. I'm ready to snap at him, scream in his face that I don't need his damn pity, but then it hits me like a freight train. He's not offering help out of sympathy. He'd get off on watching Renard suffer, no doubt about it, but then his offer? It's like this weird mix of prickly-ass kindness, something you hardly ever see in our kindred world. And it's that fucked up kindness alone that keeps my mouth shut. So instead I give a silent nod and hook arms with Podrick as we dip out of that decrepit building into the frigid dead of night. Interesting. Yeah, Eli is an interesting character. Can't really read him. But I think I am going to call that a night. And yeah, it was good playing Vampire the Masquerade, Reckoning of New York, Part 2. We'll continue this later in Part 3. And see ya. Have a good night.